system built off my back. When y'all gon' pay me back? I give you welfare and stamps. That's what the white man said. You start your life in debt, enslaved with no job. They wonder why my people only sell drugs and then rob. You wanna make it in this world, sign right here on this line. We get paid to entertain, they still selling us now. You just a high class nigga, don't know what it's like to be in charge. I know I'm supposed to be a ruler, that's why I'm putting faith in God. I know we at the bottom now, but God gon' put us back on top. I know the white man ruling, but soon them roles gon' swap. I know I'm God's chosen people, I know I'm from the tribe of Judah. I know I'm in the scripts daily, I know I'm supposed to give them to you. We live in perilous times, Satan caused all this confusion. Esau the end of the world, Jacob the next is gon' rule it. They wanna try to keep us slave. They wanna try to keep us chained. Black Messiah on the way. They say he about to set us free. They wanna try to keep us slave. They wanna try to keep us chained. Black Messiah on the way. They say he about to set us free. All praise to the Most High.
Turn it up. Yeah.
Call all the deacons up.
Call them up now.
Ask if we linking up.
Ask if we linking up.
What time no sleeping time?
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 Call up the deacons, bro.
Call them up now.
Ask if we linking up.
Ask if we linking up.
What time no sleeping time?
What time no sleeping time?
Wake up the sleeping tribes.
Wake up the sleeping tribe.
Call up the deacons, bro.
Call them up now.
Ask if we linking up.
No.
What time no sleeping time?
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 Call all the deacons up.
Call them up now.
Ask if we linking up.
What we linking up?
What time no sleeping time?
In a minute now.
Wake up the sleeping tribes.
I said I had to call him up. I made the phone call a Deke like, what's up, is you ready for war? He replied, been ready for war, been ready for a battle with swords. And I respect him cause he fought many wars. I humble down to what the scriptures say and give doubles to the elders that been leading the way. I know it's hard in this walking, they've been walking for years. So when I'm weak in the flesh, they voice attend to my ears. A young man trying to soak the wisdom, gain the knowledge, apply the scriptures. Wrong decisions leave me senseless. Dear Lord, would you give me a chance? We all looking for the code to the gate. We all looking how to change our fate. Repentant, so rebellious. No, I had to change my whole lifestyle. I'm getting wise now. I'm looking forward to an all-gold crown. I'm just praying at the Lord, looking down with a smile, you know.
Call all the deacons up.
Call them up now.
Ask if we linking up.
Ask if we linking up.
What time no sleeping time?
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 Call up the deacons, bro.
Call them up now.
Ask if we linking up.
Ask if we linking up.
What time no sleeping time?
What time no sleeping time?
Wake up the sleeping tribes.
Wake up the sleeping tribe.
Call up the deacons, bro.
Call them up now.
Ask if we linking up.
No.
What time no sleeping time?
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 Call all the deacons up.
Call them up now.
Ask if we linking up.
Hey, yeah, man, we might have to call the big guns in on this one, man.
Any minute now.
Wake up the sleeping tribes.
I think we gonna need a little assistance.
Bishop gave the green light. Yeah, we about that action. Call up all the regions and assemble all the factions. It's an organized nation and we active. It's time to get at them. Another shot dead in the street. Response time is imminent. Less than a week. Our people need this medicine to wake them up from sleeping. How the hell they gonna get it if it ain't IUIC? Steady looking for the light, but they can't quite see. Trying to take a deep breath, but they can't quite breathe. Still looking to a nation that'll never save thee. Wondering why they let their blood in the street. When our blood feeling it's unique. She ain't never been taught that. Through Christ, yeah, buddy, we been brought back. How you in the fight for black life and never fought back? Promise to get down, it's going down. We want it all back, all that.
Call all the deacons up.
Call them up now.
Hey man, this thing is
Ask if
amazing.
we linking up.
What time no sleeping time?
What
I
time
ain't
no
even gonna lie
sleeping
to you.
time?
No sleeping time.
What time no sleeping time?
Call up the deacons, bro.
Hey,
Call
this
them
truth
up
will change
now.
you if you wanted to.
Linking up.
Ask if we linking up.
What time no sleeping time?
What
It's
time no
time for our
sleeping
people to come back
time?
to God's law, statutes,
What's
and
up to
commandments.
sleeping trap?
Call all the deacons up.
Call them up
Yeah.
now. No.
Hey, we calling all the
What time no
soldiers,
sleeping time?
all the officers, all the captains, all the
Call them
deacons,
up now.
all the bishops.
What we linking up?
What time no sleeping time?
Any minute now.
Wake up the sleeping traps.
Let's win this battle, y'all. Yeah. One time for righteousness. One time for the saints of the Most High God. Yeah. Hey, one time for the sisters too, supporting the troops. You know how I do. Yeah. Hey man, we out of here, man. Wartime, war ready. Yeah. All you gotta do is put a little faith in. Sometimes all it takes is a little faith. Yeah. I'm realizing God don't make mistakes. I'm realizing why I'm in this place. I realize that I'm a wretched man. When feeble thoughts come, I try and close my eyes and seek his face. A called soldier, our minds at war, I've been for sure. You get corrected in conversation, just study more. You seek respect from men, I'm asking what you in it for. Man, this gon' be the greatest times you ever saw. Babylon on fire, ready to tear it down. When Christ come, we gon' tear it down. We putting in the work. I see them standing round, then criticize our moves as if they got it down. You make the wrong move, oh yeah, we playing chess now. You got your rank up, it's getting hard to confess now. Was reading Chronicles, David men never break rank. I feel like ASAP write new songs with old ink. I'm happy scribing, I rarely ever feel sad, you see. This truth crazy, my family members still mad at me. My calls dropping, the devil low keeping tracking me. I beat them demons, but now they wanna get back at me. I never gonna be the same. I had to change everything. I want a little good life, so I sacrifice. No, one day it's gonna change when the sky crack and I see the ships and the chariots. Gotta keep the faith, no, I gotta keep the faith in it, huh? I never gonna be the same. I had to change everything. I want a little good life, so I sacrifice. No, one day it's gonna change when the sky crack and I see the ships and the chariots. Gotta keep the faith, no, I gotta keep the faith in it, huh? It come a time where you look yourself in the mirror clear. You see impurities and hope to God for spirit healing. You check yourself and try to give yourself a pep talk. You know your life about to change and you can't fake this walk. Faced with decisions, do I run or do I man up? So close to fate and getting hard for you to stand up. You hit your lows, but you ain't never felt this low before. You check Sirach, read chapter 2 to try to build you up. You start to hit the scriptures harder, trying to double up. When times get a little rough, you know you studied up. You kill a demon, then you see another one coming. You start to lust and thought you had it all under control. You realize you still sick and need to overdose on scriptures. I know it's the perfect medicine. Sometimes I'm frustrated, why am I even meddling? I know I hit a couple bumps, I'm still pedaling. I never gonna be the same. I had to change everything. I want a little good life, so I sacrifice. No, one day it's gonna change when the sky crack and I see the ships and the chariots. Gotta keep the faith, no, I gotta keep the faith in it, huh? time to get right with the message. I feel inclined to change the thoughts in our youth perception. Like a mosquito, these nations been trying, suckers drop. With trespassers against us, we wait to penalize. I feel indebted to go out and try to teach the message. I'm still facing decisions disguised as salt and pepper. You take it lightly, but faced with the high blood pressure, you need a break from yourself, and you promise to get it. These kids wild, but I'm looking like who else is gonna teach them? Father's been gone, you know the women never need him. Reached to the children, but he couldn't reconnect from prison. Fend for his children, so the judge gave him a life sentence. I mean, who else got a story? I'm giving God the glory. I keep a hold to the law, the only thing important. I trust never, we disconnected like cell connection. You quote a whole bunch of scriptures, but didn't understand them. I pray if anything, I do it for edification and bring you back to the truth. We try and build the nation. We've been destroyed, but you see God been doing renovation. Musical chairs, I'm praying I don't get eliminated. Yeah, cause temptation is hard in itself. I hit the captain asking for advice, I need the help. Polarizing these scriptures, I'm taking mental pictures. They never see your battles inside, only see your image. Don't get it twisted, I ain't complaining about the cards I'm giving. We go through things sometimes to be somebody else's blessing. The hardest thing in life was trying to be a people pleaser. You never there for yourself, but you there when they need you. Keep my composure, I'm learning it's an art in itself. Sometimes the smallest of the habits, the hardest to kill. Better days, how ironic, now I'm reminiscing. Well, Moses gave us commandments, but we ain't wanna listen. Yeah, sometimes I question if I'm in the faith, cause y'all ain't see them evil thoughts that I had yesterday. Yeah, sometimes I question if I'm in the faith.
Please don't let me drown. Yeah, hey. Please don't let me drown. Yeah, yeah. Please don't let me drown.
You know it's hard when you captain, keeping head above water. You start your own business, hoping that your folks support you. You niggas slaves and you ain't built to run no brick and mortar. The white man make it hella hard to get that kick started. Yeah, he make it hard to get that kick started. Yeah, they try to tell us we're slaves. Can that be nothing greater?
Please don't let me drown. Yeah, hey. Please don't let me drown. Yeah, yeah. Please don't let me drown.
I mean, I can't keep telling you. I tell you that all the time. You know? It's the discipline. You know? You need more discipline. You know, you got the mindset to do it, but if someone's not disciplined enough to accomplish the task, then it'll never be accomplished. People hate discipline. You must have that discipline. That's the solution.
Yep, read the Bible once for myself, but you can see I missed all kind of scriptures. In the world, you could take for granted all the knowledge come with God commandments. Church line, the only thing I learned was paying tithes and tap dancing. Pastor made a couple dollars off me, got a Rolls Royce and a fat mansion. Lied to, I was so fooled, man, them church sermons is misleading. I ain't know about the Sabbath day, I would hit the club every single weekend. Dietary, I was never taught, I was shrimp chomping and pork eating. Fornication, idolatry, you pick one and I was into it. Friends mad cause I switched up and I ain't wicked, now I'm repentant. Calling me about the old me, but I ain't got time for no revisits. I don't mess with the other nations, I found out what they did to me. Took hand in my slavery and then stole all of my things from me.
That's why you walk out there feeling good. Like, man, Pastor preached a good sermon. But when I ask you, what did he preach? I guarantee you can't tell me what he preached. He laughed because he knows. He knows.
Dad called and he complained about I don't really ever call much. Name ain't saved under Israel, then I don't really check the call out. Mama calling, she asking why I ain't returning her missed calls. Hard for me to stick around long when I know that y'all ain't keeping laws. Flex on you like Bowflex when it come to guys, show some respect. Lil' sis wanna come visit, I told her she gotta wear a dress. They be acting like I'm crazy, you know women hit you with the stretch neck. Sent the message on Facebook, the rest of y'all I shot a text. Wait to see if any of y'all reply, but I ain't never get no response yet. And it's truth, it's do or die. I ain't really ever seen nobody slide yet. Hard for you to get your point across. Maybe you should add some more context. Split kingdom, God made one. That's an autograph like a sign pick. Proverb after proverb, man, precept after precept. Name doctrine after name doctrine. You out the spirit like bad breath. Psalms 138 and 2. Guess that don't really mean that. IUIC on the map. Come and crack your doctrine like chapped lips. Overseas to the four corners, we breaking ground like Hulk fist. Christ said they gon' hate and try to slow you down like a bad hip. Demons on them, got demons on them. Get crushed up like a pack of chips. Heresies and false religions get packed up cause we ain't having it. We ain't having it.
So when he
We ain't having it.
to the wicked, those who are breaking God's commandments, thou shalt surely die. What's gonna happen to the wicked? Thou shalt surely die. And thou killest him not worthy. So now, when you hear these commandments, we're telling you break God's commandments, you're going to be put to death. That's the bottom line. You're gonna be put to death. And I know that's not what you've heard in church. You've not heard that. No, not my Jesus.
In the booth, got me in the spirit, did it one time for the 12 tribes. Naphtali down to Ephraim, to the tribe of Gad and Issachar. Zebulon, man, Simeon, man, shouts out to the northern kingdom. Southern kingdom where the home at. One time the tribe of Levi. Benjamin got the block. Had to do it for him one time. Strong as ever, we the top nation when we all working on one mind. We the best, the other nations last. If you ain't know, I had to sock it to you. Christ coming, he gon' reign. He sprang up from the tribe of Judah.
Believe it. Look, I gotta keep going. No, you're not. Oh, okay. So you agree? Yeah, I agree. The Bible says. The word says. So guess what? When we break God's commandments, God says he will bring that death upon you. Yes, he will. We serve a great and terrible God. That's right. But we play games with him. We play semantics. Oh, that's why I keep looking for the pastor. The pastor ran because he knew he can't deal with the truth of his Bible. Right. That's right. That's why he took off. He ain't no fool.
Dallas had to fight the devil with some wrestle moves, had to get him off me. He was on my shoulders, had me contemplating. I was in denial, headed to the fire. It was on my mind now, about to do a finger on the trigger, hit a phone ringing, hit a dial tone. When I pick it up, 1 o'clock at night and ain't nobody up. Text message coming, get notified, phone vibrating all time of night. Send calling, I was about to answer, getting hot in here. Somebody pull the fans out, mind racing. Got two choices, got the devil on me. I need anointing, my old life be calling me. Check the mirror, see him stand back at me. Lust boil inside of me, thoughts running all kind of crazy. Know everybody like to talk about it, but how many people been real lately? So I take a ride to the grocery store just to clear my mind and try to cool it off. Feel the wicked fight against the spiritual. I ain't trying to let the old nigga win though, so I had to really man up. Let these scripts soak to my mind. It only take the devil one time. The devil never come the same twice. Play games, use different devices, who wanna take advantage of your life. Boy, you better keep them guards up. Say these scripts high squad up, take no chances. Dance to the devil tone. Keep your mind on the law, that's the armor for you.
I'm breaking down, I'm frustrated, I'm tired of living this life. These evil thoughts I'm confessing, been trying to take my mind. Every day I try to get right. I done got 1,000 times. I seen darkness all in my life, but now I'm finally seeing some light.
Yeah, what you gonna do when all that sin come back? Satan trying to attack, now you're watching your back, and they know where you at, and you wanna react, but you never wanna get yourself caught in the trap. You gotta flee, cause he won't leave, and I never edit ditch of the whole deed. So my mind don't work when you smoke weed. Mess around and get cut, and you're gon' bleed on the low key. Evil thoughts taking over my mind, I'm falling behind, and every time I get out of line, I look for a sign. The whole time I thought I was lying, the whole time the sign was in front of my eyes. You gotta open up your Bible, gotta read that. Gotta repent, my people gotta see that. Gotta put on the armor, gotta pray to the Father and promise that I'm a convert, and I believe that. Friend is on and I'm with it. Devil try to stop me, come and get it. The Most High got me, and I'm proud to be godly, doing what he taught me, cause I need it. He picked me up when I fall. Ain't afraid to go answer that call. Give it all I got, because we can't be stopped. The devil ain't gon' faze me at all. You can't see me, Satan. I see you plotting over there waiting. This kingdom is ours for the taking. Sit back while the spirit will keep raining. Your plans eventually gon' blow up. When Christ return, you get toe up. I ain't do this fight messing with me. You might just get intercepted with that sword.
Yeah. I wonder why we always die. I Wonder why we get shot down, nah. Yeah, I guess this is how it go. Black man died, shot in the street again. Mourning over bodies, asking what's his religion. It never shocked me that he was a Christian. We been dying over white man lies. Been niggas in the white man eyes. Interjection, we need intercession. The only thing we ever want to do is talk about it. I'm done begging and I'm tired of talking. I realize that them problems persist. You would think that we was equal, but that never existed. All this oppression here behind these black and white.
Check, shalom, shalom.
All right, shalom, Israel.
Doing a mic check real quick, seeing if we got volume, visual, of course, making sure everything runs smooth. So if we could, we're going to speak to the audience real quick, see if we get a couple Y's and N's.
Type of Y, if you are tuned into the Lionz, then you can hear right now.
Yeah, I guess you don't need N's, you can hear. Type
yeah,
Y, right?
Yeah.
All right, so let's go for the Y's. If you can hear and see, type Y.
How much delay we have? From what screen that we have? Is there a delay?
15-20 seconds. We're both filming from YouTube, Periscope, Facebook, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what we're looking at now is Periscope. If you can hear, type Y on the screen. We want to make sure everything is going good so we can begin. We can start. Can't really see YouTube. How we looking on YouTube? You got any response?
Anybody on YouTube? Need to get a brother on YouTube.
So, and make sure we see if we can get a response on Periscopes or Periscope is it, Facebook as well.
Pizza Brothers. We need the brothers to get on and see if we online. The brothers back there.
They enjoying that cheap food, you know.
We good?
You know, last time, you know what they said about the food, right?
Food ain't right. Yeah.
Food ain't right. All the food. All the food.
Yeah, it got
not this one fast food chain that we all know and love. All the food.
You do got specific restaurants that are worse than others. it's just that bad. I mean, it's just that bad for them to be on the news. Bad, like shut down.
It is. Who on the news shut down?
McDonald's.
When? What news station was that?
No, I said they deserve
it.
Oh,
they said they deserve. You said they deserve.
Yeah.
They deserve it.
Not the king of burgers no more.
They're only gonna be on the Miami News, FCN network. Gonna do that. Four Corners News. they gonna show that.
McDonald's need to close down. They just need to close down.
The rest of the news networks, no.
All right, so we're gonna begin. We're gonna jump right into it. It's now 6:04. Both of these channels are both streaming, so if you haven't missed, just go back and play it back. Share it with your family. This is definitely gonna be an interesting topic. Today we're going into definitely much needed.
Everybody is in this topic. Everybody in the world is in this topic, like it or not.
Whether you believe it or not.
Exactly.
So
we must take heed to it.
And here's the thing: the only book on earth, as we say it all the time, every radio show, the only book on earth that talks about what is going on in the world is the Bible. That's it.
Before and after.
Yeah, and you have people
during and after.
You have people that come up with arguments. Well, there's many translations of the Bible. Advice that we can give you: stick to the King James Bible. You understand? You can't go wrong with that. But other than that, there is no argument about the Bible being true or not. It is exactly that. So to argue about translation and all of that, Skip all of that, go straight to the source. This is the most closely translated to the Greek, Latin, and Hebrew. But outside of that, dealing with truth, this is the only Bible that explains reality real time.
Let's get a quick check. You tune into the Lionz Den. I'm Officer Maciel. To my left, I have
Bosch,
Officer Yahaziel,
Officer Aaron.
All right. So once again, you know our motto. We have our own motto here. Other stations have their motto, but ours is.
Can't see.
Can't see us. Can't see me.
Can't see you.
Liza, you gonna put me in? Gonna allow me to be on the show?
some serious.
He wants to squeeze together and be like this. He wants us close together like this.
Hey, you gotta gather together these last times.
I thought we just bought a new camera lens. It don't fit everybody in the lens. We paid over $1,000 for that lens. Okay, our motto is we don't
ignore evil.
We seek to expose it. No,
yes, sir.
We in unison. We on the same page.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We do not ignore evil here at the Lionz Den. We seek to expose it.
Seek to expose it. We're going to have fun, man. We're going to have fun with this thing. You know, it's a very serious topic, but you understand, being that, you know, the scripture says, Christ said it, blessed are your eyes for you see the truth. You know the truth. So,
you know what's heavy about that? Like you were saying about the different writings. You know what they're trying to do? Avoid the inevitable. They figure they change around the words, the end result going to switch up or something.
Yeah. Like now, they have a new play on words when it comes down to, because they see the truth going out. So now, they see Deuteronomy 28, the whole chapter is dealing with the awakening of the Israelites. So they'll take verse 68 and they'll say, see, when you go back and look at the translation, it says, see, ye shall sell yourselves as slaves. See, Israel was indentured servants. They sold themselves into servitude when they couldn't pay out debt. So they sold themselves into slavery. That's not what that scripture is referring to.
Right.
That's not what it's talking about.
You know what's funny about that, though? What other nation would have sold himself into slavery and could survive?
Got on slave ships.
Why would you get on a ship to go somewhere and ask to be hired by somebody you can't pay off debt? Let's go get on the ship because we can't afford to be here and go sell ourselves as slaves.
You ain't got nothing else better to do.
Come on. But again, this is the ignorance of the world. And we can only say ignorance. We can't say the brothers are just dumb. We won't say that because guess what? We didn't know this understanding at one point. But that's why we have radio shows like this. And the word ignorance means you don't know. A lot of these pastors, they just don't know. They're only teaching what they have been taught. And that's one of the subjects we're going to actually go into. How do we know we're living in the last days?
Right.
I tell you one sign, a lot of the people are leaving the churches. A lot of the people that are leaving these churches and they see that they're being taught lies, they see that they never had an answer to none of their questions, so they discouraged and they're leaving.
Right. Hey, I wish Oscar Kimel could call in. We was talking about this last week. He said he's talking to some family members and devout Christian in the Bible for over 50 years. Called in and was listening to as he was answering basic questions that never got answered their whole life, and was shocked to believe that the same book they read, answer was right there.
Absolutely.
It was right there in front of them.
And that's just what Christ spoke about. Matter of fact, let's read that real quick in the book of Ruth. This is one of the signs. What's the topic? Let's get into the topic real quick. The topic of today's class is the writings on the wall. The writings on the wall. The concept of that title comes from the book of Daniel. We'll read that too. Matter of fact, we'll read that before we go into Baruch. Let's get that, because this is going to set the stage for what we're going into today. Let's get the book of Daniel. Give us a minute working out this mic situation. You good? Okay. Let's get the book of Daniel. Excuse me. The book of Daniel, chapter 5, and let's read. Let me see. Just trying to start up the best part of it. Matter of fact, there's a lot in this that I want to get. We'll come back up. Daniel's 5.
No, what's funny, in my Bible, it has the writing on the wall.
They do have the writing on the wall. All praise. That's the topic. Yeah,
in Daniel 5, too.
I think a lot of our people know that something is wrong with the world, too. They just can't put their finger on it.
Yeah.
I mean, we see it.
I'm going to touch on that, because you're absolutely right. And we know the reason why they can't put their finger on it.
We know it.
We know the reason why.
A lot of our people see what's going on. They see the oppression. They see, like you see, I was looking at a video, before we read this, I was looking at a video, what's his name? Daylight the rapper?
Yeah,
named Daylight.
Daylight, he got a tattoo on his face, something like that. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
He's a comedian. A lot of stuff he go into is jokes and stuff like that. But I was watching this one video that he had. He was doing an interview with Vocab Malone, and Vocab Malone. He everything's a joke. Even when it's serious, it's a joke to him because it doesn't apply to him. But he was talking about what was the conversation? Eminem. He was talking about, they said Eminem was the greatest white rapper there is, surpassing even blacks that was in the rap. He said he's actually bringing back hip hop. It's like, no, he just came from out of nowhere. He's good at putting words together. That's what he's good at, but he's not the greatest rapper. Then they switched topics to deal with hip hop. He said Eminem ain't bring back hip hop, and I'm getting sick and tired of people saying hip hop is black culture. That's not our culture. You mean spinning around on cardboard boxes was our culture? That's not our culture. It's it's something that we came up with, and we enjoyed music. He was saying, matter of fact, that's not our culture. That's something that was given to us. They gave it to us. Our culture goes further than hip hop. It says we are great people. Again, he brought it to the whole African thing. But what he said after that, it says even the way we dress. You look at the Gucci, your Lamborghini, your Ferrari, all of these things that you have. Your people didn't even design these things. Things that you wear, you didn't come up with the design. So when people say they have their own style and they come out rapping and doing these big labels, come out dressing a certain way and say, I like his style. That ain't even his style. We have no heritage. Basically what he was saying. We was robbed from it. So I was looking at this, I'm like, this brother understands that. And it's a lot of other people that talk the way he talk, but they can't relate it to. That's a curse. They can't relate it to. That's in the Bible. They don't know where to go from there. And it leaves them confused and say, it's just the way life is. We got to start culture somewhere.
That's like how they say we're the biggest trendsetters, right?
Yeah.
But we don't manufacture none of the clothes that we set trends to.
That's exactly what he was saying. He said we'll take something and put something together, but we didn't really come up with the style. It was given. So,
hey, go to Psalms 119.
We gotta read Daniels. We gotta read Daniels. Yeah. We gotta read Daniels.
Hey, because you just said why they don't get it. I'm gonna tell them why they don't get it.
Yeah. All right, let's get it, and we'll get right into it. All right, let's get Daniels. Daniels 24, 5 and 24.
The book of Daniel, chapter 5 and verse 24. Then was the part of the hand sent from him.
So we're gonna read back up later on in the chapter to give you the sense of the context. Like some pastors say, read in the context. A lot of pastors think we take things out of context. We actually read the whole Bible. But we jump to the points to get, we jump to certain parts in the scriptures to get to the point. But right here, there was a kingdom in place. These were the Persian and Medes. Okay, we were in captivity at this time. And there was a time, at this time, there were going to be a transformation of kingdoms. Okay, these were the Persian. The Medes were coming in. The Medians were coming in. So they were getting ready to be taken out. So this king was in his palace. He stole everything out of Jerusalem, started using it as far as the cups, the gold, everything that we had, he took it. He was lifted up in pride, and the Most High had a hand to write on this wall. And this is what it said. Let's read on. This is the history on it.
And this writing was written. And this is the writing that was written. Mene, Tekel, Upharsin. This is the interpretation of the thing. Mene, God have numbered thy kingdom.
God have numbered thy kingdom.
And finished it.
And he has finished it. So he measured the time of this kingdom, how long it should reign, who is going to reign, and he finished it. Meaning it's a set time for that kingdom to fall. Like it's a set time for this kingdom to fall. Everything that we read throughout this Bible is written for our learning. History repeats itself. I know we are familiar with that saying. This is going to happen again. Matter of fact, we'll read this verse in Daniel, and we'll read it somewhere else that it applies to this nation that we're living in right now. So it says, many, Tekel Upharsin. This is the interpretation of the thing. Read.
God have numbered thy kingdom and finished it.
Read.
Tekel, thou art weighed in the balances.
Thou art weighed in the balance.
And art found wanting.
Are found wanting. You know what that goes back to? That goes back to Revelation. Her sins have reached up high unto heaven. Right. Ye have seen all her wickedness. Everything that is done in this land, the Most High seen all of it. All their policies they have passed to make what it say, to turn unrighteousness into righteousness.
Right.
The things they turn upside down. He sees all of their policies they pass. And he sees what they're doing to his prophet that speak out against these things. He said, thou art found measured. He said, you are what? It says
and
thou
art,
art
and art found wanting.
And thou art found wanting, lacking. Read.
Peres, thy kingdom is divided and given to the Medes and Persians.
Now at this time he was giving this kingdom to the Persians. He was giving this Persian's kingdom to the Medes. So he said, I already know how this kingdom is going to fall. When this kingdom go down, it's going to be given to the Medes. Just the same way with this kingdom. When this kingdom go down, the Most High is going to establish his. He's already found it weighed in the balance, and he already know who is the ruling king following after. That's Christ. It says Christ is going to sit on his father. He's going to sit on the throne of his father's David. He's going to sit on the throne of David, his father. Yeah. Okay, read on.
Verse 29. Then commanded Belshazzar, and they clothed Daniel with scarlet, and put a chain of gold about his neck, and made a proclamation concerning him, that he should be the third ruler in the kingdom.
Read.
In that night.
In that night. This is the very good point. I want you to remember this. Because again, as we read it here, we're going to read it somewhere else. The same thing is going to happen. It says, in that night, when this king was sitting in his throne, among his acquaintances, in his rulership, in that same night, read,
was Belshazzar, the king of the Chaldeans, slain. And Darius the Median took the kingdom, being about 62 years old.
So what was going on in that night? Let's jump up in the chapter. Let's read from verse. Let me see here. Read verse 22, right? That's it? Yeah, verse 22.
The book of Daniel, chapter 5 and verse 22. And thou, his son, O Belshazzar, hast not humbled thine heart, though thou knewest all this, but hast lifted up thyself against the Lord of heaven, and they have brought the vessels.
And we do read that. It says in the book of Isaiah 14. Give me that real quick before we read on. Showing you that what we're reading here is the same spirit that applies to Babylon the Great. This land right here. Let's get that. Isaiah 14. We might not have the time to go into it now, but this is referring to this kingdom. Let's read Isaiah 14. Let's read verse 13.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 14 and verse 13.
This is what this kingdom said.
For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven.
And who said this real quick? Verse 4.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 14 and verse 4. That thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon.
Against the king of Babylon. Read.
And say, how have the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased.
How has the golden city ceased? Read verse 13 now.
Verse 13. For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God.
Did not America do that when they set their space station among the stars? He's telling you future prophecy what this nation would be doing. They would go up into heaven and place their congregation among the stars, or set their tabernacle among the stars, a place where they dwell. This is why they have the slogan, the eagle has landed. Right. This is what it's going into. They will go among the heavens. Read.
I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the cloud.
Read.
I will be like the Most High.
I will be what?
Like the Most High.
What did the Most High orchestrate in the beginning? Creation. Man and woman. What are they trying to do now? Change creation. Right. Changing man from woman into changing man into a woman, and woman into a man. This man is trying to play God, coming up with creatures that didn't exist during the time of the beginning. He's trying to play God. Right now, he's crashing elements together somewhere over there across seas, and underground with an element collider.
Across seas, they're right there in Atlanta. Creatures that didn't exist is right there in Atlanta. They there now. That didn't exist.
Yeah.
The brothers didn't know what they were seeing yesterday. Why we couldn't tell who was a man, who was a woman, or what.
And all of this is just messing with things that he wasn't supposed to. Putting, all of this estrogen and stuff. He's turning people into another thing. This man is a mad scientist. This is why I say he's going to be like the Most High. Same thing that Belshazzar thought in the night that he was getting drunk, as we about to read it. Same pompous, same pride that this man, that ancient nations had with dealing with the Persians, Babylon has today. And he's going to destroy them the same exact way. Let's go back to Daniel 5 and 23.
The book of Daniel, chapter 5 and verse 23. But has lifted up thyself against the Lord of heaven.
And how did he lift up himself against the Lord of heaven?
And they have brought the vessels
Hold on. Let's get how he did that. Let's get that how he did that real quick in Daniel's. Further on in the chapter, how he changed the times. Let's get that. Daniel chapter 7. Read verse 25.
The book of Daniel, chapter 7 and verse 25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High.
Who are the saints? Those are the Israelites. The Israelites were scattered. Those just happen to be so-called blacks and Hispanics and Native American Indians. That's right, according to history. We didn't choose to be this because of religion. We didn't say, you know what, I don't want to be a Christian. I want to be an Israelite. It's impossible for you to do that. Israelite, these are people. They exist. We just happen to be those people according to prophecy. We are the saints. It says, and he shall wear out the saints of the Most High. You see it on the news. We're going to get to some of it today. Read.
And think to change times and laws.
Why? Because it says he shall think to change it because it's impossible for him to do it. But he did it if you don't know real time. If you don't know the sun governs time. If you don't know the moon governs months. It tells you when the times and the seasons shall come. Nature, you see it out there. The Most High gave you signs within nature itself, or what we call nature. Seasons. He gives you the beginnings of the year, and he gives you the ends of the year. He told us that what? January was the beginning of the year. That's a lie. Spring is the beginning. April, during the time of March, April, that's when the new year begins, during the time of Passover. But it says he shall think to change times and laws. What laws? Man should be with a woman. Today he tell you a man can marry a man. That's not a law God set up. Pork is the new white meat. That's not a law God had set up. But read on.
And they shall be given into his hand until a time and times, and the dividing of times. But the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion to consume and destroy it unto the end.
Okay, and that's what eventually is going to happen. But that time and the times and dividing of time is the time of our captivity. Let's go back and finish that off, and I got one more scripture. I'm going to let you get the floor unless you got something to say. No, it's not.
Because it's funny, you said you're going to seek to change times and laws. One of the big things out there, nobody's not talking about, everybody get wrapped up with Trump and election. You know, we always trying to say, well, let's vote our way out of this. They passing all them abortion laws left and right. And who's on the front of it? Sister, Israelite sister. Every time I look up on them articles, it's a Jake sister right there, smack that in front. And what's crazy about it is, it be the same people walk around and say Black Lives Matter, but then the black babies don't matter. But she's trying to say she's trying to have her rights, trying to feed into that.
You know what's so sad about that? Real quick, this is how you know it's over. This is how you know it's over. This is by the mentality of our people. Just even in oppression, we just don't even know how to take oppression seriously. Even when this happened to us, my wife was telling me she worked with call center. You know that Black Lives Matter or just being just black empowerment. It's becoming more so of a fashion than really what it is supposed to be.
Orange is the new black.
It's just something to say, like.
New slogan.
It's a new slogan. Like I'm a part of something instead of actually representing what it's supposed to be. If Black Lives Matter, you do something about it. You stand for just that. My wife worked with a call center. She told me a sister called. She listens to the recording with customer complaints. The sister on there talking about I deserve something free because something happened, and the lady was like, "Well, we can't do that. Black Lives Matter." This is what she said on the phone. Wow. The sister said, "I'm black."
Wow.
She's looking for black privilege.
Black privilege. Like what are we doing? This is how you know it's over. Even our mentality is just technology, the scripture says technology should increase, but IQ
discount.
is this is.
I want a discount. Black Lives Matter. I want a discount on them jeans. I want a discount on my car insurance.
NAACP lady did that. She said she was black just to get certain perks. She was running the NAACP for a little bit, and they found out that she really wasn't, and she had to quit.
Joey Zal or something. Yeah. I know you're talking about. What happened?
It's crazy. But this is how you know it's over. I mean, you can tell. You can tell.
And you know it's a fashion because we'll puff ourself up against the nations about Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
And then a brother be in the club, get his shoe stepped on, and be punching the same brother that look like him, but no more Black Lives Matter.
No.
We'll kill each other, do everything.
Again, it's when somebody outside of our race kills us. That's when Black Lives Matter. Because it's like, hold up, Black Lives Matter. You can't kill us. Only we can do it. It's the same thing when we used to say nigga. It's like, well, y'all say it to each other all the time. It's the same thing, but it's just on a different level now. People are dying now. But even when we said the word nigga, like, well, white people's like, well, y'all say it all to each other all the time. It's like, no, it's different when we say it. You can't say that.
It's a term of endearment now.
Exactly.
Now they can say it now. You put plies on or whatever, Gucci or whatever, they can say it with you. Dude. White boy be sitting in the car rapping along with you.
Right.
Yeah, turn that song on. It say something about nigga. You know the song. It say nigga in the song. Something about nigga. Turn that song.
Turn right to it.
I'm gonna stop saying nigga. I know some people get offended. But I'm just saying this
they have
the
to
word.
be offended in because it's in the Bible.
You got some people.
I mean, we staying with the Bible
true
words.
definition of the word is an ignorant person. If we ignorant to the truth, then
you got some people that live in those times and they offended by that word. Some will be all things on.
They ain't offended by being called colored or blackie.
Oh, you should be offended by all that.
They use them same words.
All right, let's get back to I asked you to go to Daniel, Jeremiah, right? Because we be explaining. Did we finish Daniel's 5? All right. So Jeremiah is going to explain what actually happened and how they were taken down that night. So we read that they was what? Drinking. We get it. It said they was drinking. They was drinking. Yeah, they was getting drunk with wine, and they was drinking out of vessels of silver and of gold, and they was honoring their gods and whatnot. So they was having a good time. It's going to explain something a little later as we read on. I want you to keep that in mind. So let's get Jeremiah 51:39. Let's see what actually happened, and let's see if this is actually happening now. Brothers and sisters, when you read this Bible, don't read this as something that this just happened back then. The Most High speaketh once, He speaketh twice. As a matter of fact, get that real quick. You can get Jeremiah 51, but I want to read this as well. He speaketh once, He speaketh twice, but no man layeth the heart. There's two against two. Understand, when the Most High speaketh back then, it applies to now. He's that genius to make the Bible read that way. And there's only one book on earth that does that. One book. Ecclesiasticus 33 in the Apocrypha. What is it? 15. Yep. And there's another one in Job, right?
I got you. The book of Sirach, chapter 36, verse 15.
Yeah.
Give testimony unto those.
33:15?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can get the one in Job too.
Sirach, Ecclesiasticus chapter 33, verse 15. So look upon all the works of the Most High.
Look upon all the works of the Most High. Read.
And there are two and two.
There are two and two. So when you read one thing in the scripture, it means exactly that. It happened, but it will happen again, but just to another kingdom. It happened many times. Many times. When you read the book of Deuteronomy, certain curses we experienced back then during the Babylonian captivity, during the Persian and Medes captivity, during the Spanish captivity, during the French captivity, right now in America. These things we relive it. Verse 68, don't try to play games with it. It didn't happen. That happened during the transatlantic slave trade. Do not say that happened and it don't apply to American blacks today. You're a liar when you say that. That is Bible prophecy. When you hear people speak like that, they're trying to deny you from who you are. They're trying to cover up history. That is a future prophecy. It didn't happen until the transatlantic slave trade.
How you know it's true? You don't even need a history book to know that we went through slavery. Right. How do you, you look at it the way society is all over the world. How is one people at the bottom of all societies? You don't need a history book to know that something had to happen. Something had to happen to those people for them to be at the bottom of all the races. They ain't by happenstance. But then you have the history to back it up. But without any history book, you say, man, something wrong here. Something's going on. How come all the black Hispanics, wherever I go across all the world, is in the worst conditions? So it's right in front of your face.
And it's not coincidence. Don't look at it just bad luck. Ain't nobody else going through this. Not no other race is going through this.
So realistically, if you only had the Bible, you would be able to prove that, okay, this stuff is true in the Bible without any other book. So the Bible saying this? This is what's really going on.
You know who else brought that out too? D.L. Hughley. I was listening to a radio show that he did too about reparations. And he was saying that, going along with what you said, no, it's happening to nobody else. He was saying, if you look at who they gave reparations to, they gave it to the Japanese. They even gave it to, and I didn't even think about this, they gave it to a group of Italians that was lynched. I think he said it was 200 Italians that was lynched. He says, the way they would look at it now is like, well, I ain't got nothing to do with that. That was my forefathers. We're on a whole different level. We should just forgive each other, look past that. He said, them Italians died, and they didn't receive those reparations. People that knew them and a part of their family received them.
Yeah.
And the people that paid the reparations, they're there too, that lynched them. So how is it now when it come down to black people, y'all don't give us nothing? You say we ain't got nothing to do with that.
That was back in the past.
They gave the Japanese reparations. They gave the Italians reparations. They even gave the fake Jews, Ashkenazi Jews, so-called Jews, reparations for the Holocaust. They're not even the Jews.
That dude said that though. What was it? Bernie Sanders dude was talking about. Well, he tried to deflect it. He was like, "Well, if I give it to you, if they give it to y'all, then we gotta give it to everybody." Meanwhile, you've been giving it to everybody. Right. So what's the big deal?
Exactly.
Like, come on.
And you know how disrespectful
right
it
in
is.
front of Charlemagne in them face, and they didn't say nothing.
You know what they tried to give us? The lady South get a lady name. She said, "Yeah, let's give them reparations. Let's give them some weed."
Right. Oh yeah. Legalize
marijuana.
Hey,
legalize.
Keep it real. When brothers heard that, brothers is like, "Yeah, boy, about to get." That's just like Obama. Obama came in office. I ain't gonna front. Back then, in the world, I figured, oh, we made it. That's it.
Hey,
it's
I
over.
did too.
Right.
We ain't got to work no more. We ain't got to do nothing. The very next day,
he was like, "Man, it's still the same way, huh?"
Yeah, I was excited.
After that song that Young Jeezy made, y'all was jamming. My president is black.
Right.
The next day,
exactly.
Hey,
after
president is
neighborhood
black. He
lost
ain't doing
their
a damn
crib.
thing.
what was his slogan? When is something change?
Change you could believe in.
Yeah, something about change.
Yeah, something about change.
Change.
Brother ain't changed a damn thing. For no Israelites.
That was the worst times for black people when he was the president.
Yes.
Right.
I guess we should have known that metal not them given to change. We should have known that. Huh? We fell for it though, because he was black, right? I know I did. I was ignorant to it. I was in there signing that paper too. Checked off the box. I did.
I ain't fall for it. I was so much in the world. I never voted in my life. I didn't care.
I ain't gonna lie. I was
like,
mad the second time around. I remember telling my moms and them, I'm like, yo, I'm not listening to y'all no more. The one time I listened to y'all, and look, and the second time he was going at it, everybody like, nah, this time it's gonna be different. Yeah, all right. Go ahead with that.
Yeah, I stained my record doing that, man. I stained my record. I said I was gonna never vote in my life. I already knew the game. My father grew up. He had that mentality, even though he voted. But you know how your father is. You know, he just knew the world for what it is. Like I said, a lot of our people know that something's wrong with the world. We just can't put a finger on it. So I grew up hearing a lot of stuff he said about even holidays. He wasn't for it. But like we saying, it's something that's out there. We know that something is wrong with this world. So we came here to talk about it. That's what today's show is. We come to discuss it, show you different things that are going on in case you don't watch the news. Brothers and sisters, we are at the end of this thing. We are at the end of this thing. And those of you that know you Israel and you know what you're supposed to be doing, it's time to get your spirit right. It's time to get it right.
A lot of y'all know y'all Israel.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people know they Israel and just ain't doing nothing.
And
you ain't keeping the commandments.
And you'll see a lot of our brothers like, yeah, you got the fringes on. Yeah, I know that stuff too.
Yeah.
I know that stuff too. I know I'm an Israelite. What school you go? Now I don't go to a school, but I've been studying that. I've been watching y'all. I've been watching.
Yeah, that's the number one thing.
Brother, you playing games. Sister, you playing games. The Most High ain't looking for people like that.
Hey, it's a fixed fight.
Yeah.
It's a fixed fight. Whether you come in or whether you don't, what the Lord said is gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
The children of Israel gonna return. It's fixed, so you might as well join and be part of it.
And what we talking about is joining what the scripture says.
Yeah, you might as well keep
a lot
the
of people say,
commandments.
I don't feel like joining. Okay, if you don't feel like joining no church, as you say, you start something and you teach Most High's word.
Exactly.
Eventually, it's going to turn into a church. It's just obvious.
Right.
The church is a gathering. But do something. Apply God's commandments and teach that. Do something to bring forth the kingdom. That's all we're asking. You ain't got to join nobody. You better keep God's commandments. That's what we persuade every man to do. Knowing the judgment of the Most High.
You better join Christ. That's what I'm talking about. Join Christ and keep the commandments.
If you join Christ, I mean, you got to be around some other people.
Right.
Bottom line.
And absolutely. Don't forsake the assembly. So if you're going to do that, don't want to be with us, you better do something and join with somebody. Do that. Jeremiah 51. Jeremiah 51:39.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 51, verse 39. In their heat I will make their feasts, and I will make them drunken.
Now, this is the same kingdom he was talking about. This is the prophecy. It happened in Daniel's. Jeremiah spoke about it. It says, in their heat, in their feast, I will what?
I will make them drunken, that they may rejoice and sleep a perpetual sleep, and not awake.
I'm sorry. Read it again from the top. I missed the point.
Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 39. In their heat I will make their feasts.
This is the point. This is what it's saying. In their heat I will make their feasts. The same night when they was feasting, the Most High had already the heat set up. He had nations already getting ready to besiege the city. Why didn't they focus on Persian kingdom and how they ransacked Jerusalem, stole all the vessels out of it, drinking out of it? The Most High already set up a kingdom that was ready to come in at the same night and take them down. This is why he says, as in the days of Noah, so should the coming of the Son of Man be. Everybody's focused on what they want to do right now. Everybody's in their feast, and the Most High is making the heat in their feast as we speak. The heat is around the corner, and we're going to show you some of that heat. You ain't living for yourself. You're on the Most High's time, and you don't know when it's going to end. This is why it's important for us to speak the way we speak. A lot of y'all don't watch the news, so we got to bring it forth to you. A lot of y'all pastors ain't telling you the prophecies. Y'all look at war on the news and say, oh, Lord Jesus, let me just pray for America, these nations. This is the devil. This is the devil. Iran is talking about missiles. That's just the devil. No, that is prophecy. The Most High is going to have missiles shot at this place. That ain't got nothing to do with the devil. He says, I declared a decree. That's in the book of Zephaniah. And that place is going to burn as a chaff. It says, a day shall come when it shall burn hot as an oven. That ain't got nothing to do with the devil. Don't blame it on the devil. The pastors got us thinking that way, that we can just pray that away. No, the judgment is coming. It's set. Read that again, 39.
In their heat I will make their feasts, and I will make them drunken, that they may rejoice.
That they may what?
That they may rejoice.
That's what everybody's going. That's what everybody's doing. Ain't today? This month is Gay Pride Month, right? Everybody's excited.
It's probably something. Every month it'll be something.
Everybody's excited, getting ready to pop fireworks. The tents are already set up for the 4th of July. Everybody's excited. They just had Freaknik last week. Everybody's okay.
Yeah, yesterday.
Doing what they want to do, getting rims and all this stuff, painting their cars. Everybody's living a life, chasing a dollar. It says, in your feast, I'm going to make the heat. This is what nobody's focusing on. And here's a scary thing about it. A lot of people leaving these churches and they're becoming atheists because these pastors are lying to them. These pastors don't have the understanding. Therefore, they teach it's false doctrine, and the people don't have no hope. Therefore, they're turning back to the world. A lot of people are doing that. Read on.
And sleep a perpetual sleep, and not wake, saith the Lord.
I'm going to make them sleep a perpetual sleep that they may not wake. That's what's happening to a lot of our people. This is why he tells us to go out and say to the people, what? Let's get Ephesians. What did he tell us to do? He said he's going to put them in a perpetual sleep. And some people are not going to get it. Some of our people are not going to get it. Let's get that real quick. Ephesians 5 and verse 14.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 14. Wherefore he saith, awake, thou that sleepest.
Awake, thou that sleepest. Read.
And arise from the dead.
And arise from the dead. Not literally dead. You're spiritually dead. You don't know who you are. Congregation of the dead. No understanding. Read.
And Christ shall give thee light.
And Christ shall give you light. Read.
See then that ye walk circumspectly, Not as fools.
Not as fools.
But as wise.
Read.
Redeeming the time.
Redeeming the time, understanding the time.
Because the days are evil.
And because the days are evil, you see it. You go out shoplifting, you get shot up. That's what's going on, man. And I'm not making mockery at this thing. I'm telling you the facts.
Hey, and that
shouldn't have happened, but the way they did it shouldn't have happened.
The light is those commandments. That's what
Light.
Christ is going to give us. They read the word and they Christ is going to give thee light. Like they're going to be dark and they're just going to walk around, they can see stuff.
Right.
That's talking about those words in the Bible mean. That's talking about Christ is going to give you the commandments that'll keep you alive. Christianity, boy, they'll just have you thinking, oh, the light just means now you're going to be able to see in the room.
Yeah. Sure.
They're going to be in broad daylight and still can't see.
Tell you, can't see for looking.
Like they can't see obvious things like this right up here. Can't see the obvious stuff right around them.
Yeah, we got to play this one. But again, we was talking about the police brutality is getting shot. But here's the thing now. They're talking to the children, the next generation. Now, we talk about music, like how music has changed. We have like Aretha Franklin, you have your Betty Wright, you have your Michael Jackson, Marvin Gaye, Al Green, Luther Vandross, Teddy Pendergrass, etc. Yeah. The Whispers. That music is phasing out. Can y'all imagine what type of music is going to be going on after this generation passed? Oh, kids don't even know who Michael Jackson is.
I didn't even know this going to be music.
Hey, but I don't know what something you brought out yesterday that was a key point with the music. You know, music always been nasty.
Oh yeah,
Them artists you just named, each one of them has some type of nasty type of song.
Yeah.
This wasn't as much as it is now. Because me and Mrs. Jones, all that stuff, old school stuff, they were straight talking about.
They were talking about adultery.
Michael Jackson's got plenty of nasty songs.
But now it's going to a next level.
It's going to
now
another
lasciviousness.
The whole album is just going to be
the lasciviousness in it is crazy.
And that's what it's getting to that level to where it's becoming just it's evil. Like it's not even communicating no more. It's I could make something up right now. Matter of fact, it was a what's the guy named Hobson's? He did like a fake video of a rap. You know that thing got more views than any of his music that he actually made on purpose.
He did a fake mumble rap video.
A fake mumble rap, and they thought it was real. He actually got more views on that video than he ever did on any video that he purposed to put out as music. And it was mumble rap. And he was just making fun of mumble rap. But again, that's the mentality of the world.
We getting close to the end.
We're getting close.
I remember not too long ago, a few years ago, I heard because being a school teacher, I heard some of the kids, little black kid at my school. There's a song where a sister says, "You gotta eat her behind like groceries."
Oh goodness.
This is what the kids are singing. They're singing things like that. So although you're right, Michael Jackson and Luther Vandross, they singing about adultery. That wasn't their lyrics right there. They talking under the clothes.
And there's another one. Since you say that, there's another one. I forget this guy's name. It's not Tekashi 6ix9ine. It's the other one. It's that other one. That one with the pink hair in his head.
Which one?
Dang.
I don't know.
I ain't gonna
right. All of them got.
Yeah, with the pink hair.
Is the one that passed away?
Not him. I don't know. It's too many of them.
It's like the same
I'm in the store shopping. I'm in Magic Mall, and you can't even find clothes no more. I know you know familiar with Magic Mall.
Yeah.
You can't even find decent clothes no more. Everything is messed up. Everything is bad. As we get further through this generation, everything is bad. You can't even buy a pair of plain jeans at Walmart without them being skinny jeans. I bought a pair of pants. I threw away the receipt. I know these fit. This is my size.
I got like a size 50.
Skinny jean
I can't even return these things. These things in my closet to this day. I got to give them away. I can't fit them. And they ain't my size. Everything is bad. But I'm in the store shopping for a shirt. I'm looking for a regular plaid shirt, which they didn't have. But they got Cheetos, the character for Cheetos, smoking a blunt. They got them type of shirts.
Yeah. Wow.
Shirts with Nicki Minaj on it, bent over. Like, why would I want a shirt like that? What?
In Walmart?
No, Magic Mall.
Man.
It's a flea market.
Dang.
Cater to our people though. That's more.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Socks with weed symbols on it and stuff like that. Michael Jordan.
Ran by Moab. Cater to our people.
Yeah, every last one of them in their Moab. And I'm going through shop and I'm listening to. They got some music playing and I hear this music, and the lyric, one of the lyrics is that me and my grandmother take meds. So he's talking about popping pills.
Right.
I forget the name of the song. It's something that he just repeated over and over in the song. I'm walking through this, I'm like, who turned this on and who is allowing it to be played through the store?
Moab.
This don't make no
Moab
sense.
said, make sure it turns on. Put them to sleep. They know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing.
It's matter of fact, what we talking about? Let's read that real quick. The Bible talks about the stature of man decreasing, and it all talks about they become weaker through age. This is what we're seeing, even through music. This is all Bible prophets. This is how you know we coming to an end, because this scripture right here relates to the end. Let's get that. I think it's Second Ezra. Let me find it. Yeah, talks about the stature. You found it? Is it 14?
5:54.
Yeah, let's get it. Let's read it.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 5, verse 54. Consider thou therefore also how that ye are of less stature than those that were before you.
Mm-hmm.
And so are they that come after you less than ye.
What verse you reading now?
Verse 55.
55, huh?
And so are they that come after you less than ye, as the creatures which now begin to be old.
No, it's another one. It's another one. They become weaker. The world has become weaker through age. That's what I want. 14. That's what I want.
Ting Tang, turn that song on, man. Ting Tang.
Ezra 14.
Ting Tang.
He just put on that music.
Is that it? As becoming weaker through age? I know it says something about weaker through age. Oh, here it is, verse 17. Read verse 16.
2nd Ezra, chapter 14, verse 16.
Mm-hmm.
For yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter.
This is the time that he was referring to. It says, for yet greater evil things than those which thou hast seen happen, even at that time when things were really bad, during the time of Ezra. It says, shall be done hereafter. Read.
For look how much the world shall be weaker through age.
So look how much more, it says, look how much the world shall be weaker through age. Read.
So much the more shall evils increase upon them.
So much more, since the world is getting weaker, the world will become an evil therein. Read on.
That dwell therein.
Mm-hmm.
For the truth is fled far away.
The truth is fled far away.
And leasing is hard at hand.
And leasing is hard at hand. That means the time is almost over. So now you're looking at even the cartoons that they show our children. I'm looking at this one show they have now with these bunny rabbits. These doggone things don't even speak. They just gibber stuff. They are trying to train our children to become to where they can't communicate well, to where they find that stuff is just funny. Like even the minions, they don't even speak. They just gibber. And that stuff become amazing to kids, and they're not even communicating. Back then, you had Dora the Explorer, this stuff that actually talk, how you learn how to count Sesame Street.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you don't even have that stuff. Now, Disney have introduced a new gay character. They're targeting the children. The world has becoming weaker through age. They want our children attached to the phone. Yeah, that's right. This is America. This is where it only happens at.
I think it's an example right here you got.
Oh, yeah, we got to play it. Let's play this real quick. This is the first video. We've done a lot of talking. We're going to show y'all some visuals. This is going on right now in a school in, I forget where it is. It's actually probably going to say it. Let's play this real quick.
See-through sequin dress, body gyrating. You might think you're at a nightclub. Not nearly. This is the 2017 Learning Expo for Community School District. See-through sequin dress, body gyrating. You might think you're at a nightclub. Not nearly. This is the 2017 Learning Expo for Community School District 4. Essentially an evening talent show for elementary and middle school students of East Harlem. This performance was listed in the program as a special surprise. It was more than a
See that?
Special surprise.
So now when you take, hey, Mom, I got some stuff going on at school. I wonder if you could drop me off early. We got some stuff going on. We got a RSA brass symbol. We got a combo dance music, and we got a special performance.
A special performance.
Your parents like, okay, that's fine. They don't know what's going on. They not there, but your child is there, and this is what they seeing: a man on stage dressed as a woman twerking. Go ahead, play some more.
Surprise. I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
Concerned mom Raquel Morales was at the show with her 10-year-old. She says the impersonation of Iris Chacon, a Puerto Rican.
And parents, I'm gonna say this. This is why you have to get involved with what your children is studying. If you don't homeschool, know what your kids are learning at school. Because if you're not teaching them, they're going to learn from somebody else. And they're going to come home, and they're going to have all kinds of doctrine in their mind. You try to steer them in the right way, they're going to be confused. The scripture talks about that. Child will be confused if they're learning two different things. And in the context of what the scripture is talking about your parents. If your father's learning one thing and the mother's learning one thing, the child is going to be unclean. In this case, if you're not in your children's educational field, you don't know what they're talking about in the school, they're going to develop spirits. They're going to be coming home with different philosophies. They're going to disobey you. Eventually, they're going to turn your house upside down because this is what they are influencing our children. And at a stage, especially at a stage where kids still trying to figure out themselves. At an innocent age, they still trying to realize, they're still trying to come into that man they're trying to be. If they're a boy, they're still trying to come into that woman if they're a girl. They getting them at an innocent age already influence them, and that's okay to accept being different. They don't even know what different is, but they influence that life to them. You can play some.
Puerto Rican icon, danced and dragged by PS94 PTA President Frankie Quinones, was completely inappropriate for children's eyes, a disservice to the kids and community.
What was the most shocking part of this performance? Seeing him get on all fours, legs wide open, spread out for all to see. Did you see people leaving? Oh, a lot of people left.
She says once the content got raunchy, the superintendent should have stepped in and closed the curtain.
We reached out to the Department of Ed, and they tell us the content of the show was inappropriate, and a school administrator has spoken to Mr. Quinones.
Quinones did not return our calls.
Was just hoping for a quick comment on the talent show.
Sometimes people tend to take things a little too far, especially when you're dealing with children.
Barksdale says she would have raised her kids out of the room.
Now, what's crazy is,
way too far.
In school, you have a such thing called a dress code. How is this man in there, whether he chooses to dress like that or not, that's his business. But you're not violating the school dress code on school property with the children. But Esau will allow that happen to push their agenda. That's it.
You know you can't say nothing because they're going to say discriminating. That's going to be the first thing.
I'm discriminating against the rule?
You're oppressing.
Oh, no. Y'all ain't seen nothing.
Oppressing the LGBT.
You know what that thing says up there? It says parents complain about PTA. PTA stands for Parent Teacher Association. So
that was teacher approved.
Yeah, there you go.
That's why the lady said they didn't do nothing to stop it.
That's crazy.
They knew what the special surprise was. They created the flyer. They knew what it was. They called him up and say, look, this is the time we want you to come. This is what you do. We got a mic set up for you. We got the sound system ready. You have the stage.
He could do that,
They did
right?
that.
Growing up in school, you couldn't have certain kind of music in the school, blasting in the school, but he could do that. That's how y'all know, man.
The writing's on the wall.
Yeah, it's no joke, for real.
And just in case you think it stops there, give me the other one. For some reason, I'm not seeing what I posted on the group on my. Okay, there's another one I wanted to get. Not that one yet. We got that one. Scroll up.
Hey, it's true that the Bible is true. Because Esau is the devil. I'm sorry. Esau the devil. For you to get up there as a grown man, what kind of mind do you have to dance in front of them children like that? Come on, man.
There was a dude up there doing that.
Dang. At a school.
Hey, turn the song to 119, 142.
I got you.
What Cap was saying before. That's why they don't get it. We understand why they don't get it. Some of the people can't put their finger on it. They can't see what's going on. Most High made it real simple of how you can get it and how you're not going to get it.
The book of Psalms, chapter 119 and verse 142.
It's 111 and 10. That's Psalm 111 and 10. That's what it is.
The book of Psalms, chapter 111 and verse 10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments.
So that's why daylight and them can't people just know something's wrong, but they can't put their finger on it. They're not keeping the commandments. If you don't keep the commandments, you're just gonna be wandering around looking like the scriptures say, groping at noonday, looking for something because you know something ain't right, but you can't figure it out because not doing what God said to do, keeping the commandments.
All right, well, we gonna show you today. We're gonna show you today. So, hey, when you see us out on the street, this is where we coming from. We ain't just yelling at our people because we're oblivious to what's going on. We know full well what's going on. We see the danger around the corner. This is the stuff that our people don't see. So the reason why we speak with much passion on the street, because we know it's coming to an end, because we're looking at what Christ told us to see. The signs. It's fig tree. You know when the summer is nigh by the figs. That's what Christ was saying. We're going to read that later in Matthew 24. But here's what they're also doing in the elementary schools.
2 demonstrations today outside of a children's story time hosted by drag queens. A group that showed up at the Huntington Woods Library to protest against it was actually met by a bigger group in support of it. Priya Mann has more on the debate.
Late last year, a city commissioner came out against drag queen story time, and since then, opposition groups, many from out of state, have also chimed in. Well, today, protesters were here as parents and kids attended the first event of the year.
Our Father, who art in heaven.
A small group of protesters prayed outside Huntington Woods Library as the first drag queen storytime session of the year kicked off inside.
It's the children who are the victims in this unfortunate reality.
The woman who launched the program wasn't fazed, saying there were wait lists for drag queen storytime and that opposition came primarily from hate groups out of state.
Because of our community's outpouring of love for drag queen storytime, we will continue to include it in our programming for the foreseeable future.
Huntington Woods police separated protesters with Warriors for Christ from the much larger group of supporters who showed up.
We want to make sure that the kids don't run into any of their hate speech. The parents aren't accosted either before, during, or after the event.
We just pray very peacefully and hopefully that children will be protected from this awful crime.
I'm going to like me because I'm loved and I know it.
Miss Raven Divine Cassidy was back in full force entertaining and educating kids. Organizers say the popular program promotes literacy and inclusivity.
The books also typically feature diverse characters and have storylines that build self-esteem and encourage children to value difference in others.
And for young children to be able to pair that lesson of self-acceptance with literacy is massively important in early childhood development. So we've got a lot of academic reasons and we've got a lot of moral reasons for being here too.
And the mayor was also here today showing his support. There was a heavy police presence as well, making sure families, supporters, and protesters were safe. Reporting from Huntington Woods, I'm Priya Mann, Local 4.
Yeah, that's crazy. Once again, Jake got me wanting to dress him. Yeah. With a bunch of so-called Christians outside praying. But I'm trying to figure out what they're praying for, because, correct me if I'm wrong, Christianity, God loves everybody, right? So what are they really praying for? Right. And brother inside there with the dress on.
I'm going to tell you, at the same time, absolutely right. But at the same time, I'm going to tell you, it's getting to the point where even these other nations know that something ain't right.
Yeah.
And this Bible speaks about that too in the book of Jeremiah. Now, we know that they have nothing to do with this kingdom that's coming. Their parents and their forefathers and their children and everybody that is related to them, as far as the kingdom of Esau, they started this. They did this during the time of the Romans. They did this during the time of the Greeks. And guess what? Even people that are dark skinned ain't off the hook. You so-called Africans. I mean, you Africans, not so-called. We think we Africans, so we're so-called Africans. You Africans, you literal Africans. You Egyptians.
Right.
You all practice sodomy. And none of these nations are right. None of their background, none of it is right. But again, at the same time, as we're coming to an end, a lot of these other nations are starting to realize something even wrong with their empire. Right. But this is why you must go down and we must come up. So when you see us teaching on the street, y'all need to support too. Get our flyers and pass them out. Every colored individual you see, give them a flyer. Help us out. Help us bring this kingdom to your kingdom to an end. Right. And help us establish a new kingdom. If you believe in the God that you say you believe,
right? Which they don't.
Which they don't. Well, let's give them a benefit of the doubt. Let's get Jeremiah.
They gotta understand. In order to build, you gotta destroy.
Yeah, their kingdom coming down, whether they like it or not. But Let's get it real quick. Jeremiah, where is that at? In the last days, the Gentiles should come to you and say, surely our fathers.
16.
16? Let's read that.
Lies.
Yes, sir. Where is that at?
Verse
I know.
19.
Okay, verse 19.
Jeremiah chapter 16, verse 19. O Lord, my strength and my fortress, and my refuge in the day of affliction, the Gentiles shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth.
Well, check this out, though. What time period was he speaking in? Read verse 14.
Verse 14. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that it shall no more be said, the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. But the Lord liveth, that brought up the children of Israel out of the land of the north.
This is future prophecy, when the Most High shall bring us from the place where he has scattered us. He said he was going to do it himself. In those days, when he shall do it, he's going to gather us up. And it shall be no more said, the Lord that liveth, that bringeth them up out of the land of Egypt, meaning ancient Egypt, but out of the land of North America, where we are today. Showing you the time and place of this verse right here. So now we're going to jump down to show you again. Once again, same time period, what's going to be happening within the last days. Verse 19 again.
Verse 19. O Lord, my strength and my fortress, and my refuge in the day of affliction.
In the day of afflictions.
The Gentiles
the other nations,
shall come unto thee.
Unto us, read.
From the ends of the earth, and shall say, surely our fathers have inherited lies.
Our fathers have inherited lies. You are the Jews. We've been lying to you. Things that are going on in the world is not right. Gay is not right. They know this. These are, again, all the signs of the end. All the signs of the end. But let's go back. We had another one. But we was talking about, before you go to that one. Now, I want to go to the book of Isaiah. I want to go to the book of Isaiah. I believe it's, bear with me. A lot of these, I didn't write it down. I want to go to the book of Isaiah when it speaks about he that bringeth forth judgment maketh himself an enemy. That's in Isaiah 59. Let's get Isaiah 59. I want to read verse 14.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 59, verse 14. And judgment is turned away backward.
Judgment is turned away backward, as we read in 2nd Ezra, and it says, truth is fled away. Read.
And justice standeth afar off.
And justice standeth afar off. You can see that. Every time you turn on the news, you see somebody dying, an Israelite dying, sisters getting shot in the head, brothers getting shot 19 times, sister with a baby getting shot running for the police. I mean, in front of a child. You hear about these things every day to the point it's so sad. Our people don't even care about it. They say, oh, there's another one. Yeah, there's another one. It's always happening. Oh, there's another one. To the point, we was down here, we was teaching. We were located in Orlando. Down here in Orlando, in Pine Hills, we taught at a corner. A young man was shot down. We was teaching out on the very same corner this brother was shot, speaking about how he was shot, why he was shot, and showing that our people was accursed. People that lived in this community didn't even know what happened. Didn't even know what happened a
few days ago.
A few buildings down from them. Didn't know what was going on in their community. Don't care. We're accustomed to it. It's just that bad. Justice standing afar off. We don't even care for justice no more. To where now Black Lives Matter again becomes a fashion. Let's read on.
And justice standeth afar off. For truth is fallen in the street.
For truth is fallen in the street. Truth don't even matter no more. Now, recently you had in the, what is it? The UCF thing? Yeah, the fighting thing where you had a transgender fighting a woman.
Oh, UFC.
This man
beat the hell out of that woman.
Proclaimed as a woman, steps in the ring with a woman.
That man beat the hell out of that woman.
Broke her skull.
And didn't go to jail for it.
It didn't go to jail.
It's crazy.
Truth is fled.
How to treat a woman. He beat the hell out of her.
Truth is fled.
It's cool.
You put a man and a woman with a ring.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be okay.
And she said, I want to fight that man. I'm going to fight that woman. Because we both have the same strength. So I'm going to fight that man, that woman. I'm going to fight that woman.
So
That's a woman. I got it. She's saying this to herself, and she goes up and fights this man. He cracks her skull open. And these people don't say, no, this. I mean, even when men fight.
After the fight, she said, no, that's not fair.
Like, under any other circumstance, that's called domestic violence.
Yeah, that's what I was.
But here's the thing. Like, even
legal
when men
domestic
fight
violence.
men, you have a weight.
Yeah, weight. Yeah, weight.
Like, they put people within their class. Like, okay, you belong in, I don't know the names of it, but you belong in the light, featherweight, heavyweight.
Yeah.
Y'all two can't fight because you have an advantage. You put a man and a woman in a ring together, and you expect the woman to fight this man, this big 6'4" man. It's crazy.
They're doing the same thing in high school sports right now. Transgenders
the
running track. They breaking all the records.
Truth is fled. And then people say, I think everybody can have an advantage. Men are no faster than women.
Real life Joanna man. It was
Right.
Man.
Hey, the Lord showing us though.
He was in the league. He was in the league killing in the women's basketball league, but it was a dude. That was a joke of the movie.
Get your children out them sports. Get your daughters.
I'm trying to see the reality. Maybe you got women that are faster than men, but you got it. Why would you put them together and say that is a equal race? I don't get it. Like, you can't put these two together. They don't belong in the same class.
Equal, right?
Yeah, that's part of white supremacy, Christian equality.
Truth is fled.
50-50.
It's insane.
Yeah.
If y'all don't know it's over with, wake up and smell the coffee. Y'all don't know it's over with. It's telltale sign. The writing is on the wall. We can see it. Things are just not right. It's just not right in the earth. And then when we look at it, how evil and how worse can it get if it's bad now? Things are not going to change because you don't see any truth. Nobody's speaking about it. Everybody's saying, give them they got rights. Let them alone. Stop bullying. So how far do you think it's going to get if we just leave it alone like they're saying leave it alone? It's only going to get worse. Worse to what point? Nobody's talking about that. Worse to what point?
Right.
When is it going to stop? It's going to stop, but where is it going to stop? Nobody's questioning that. The Most High God, that's when he intervenes, when it gets bad. But then nobody's thinking about that. What is he going to do? Is he going to say, yeah, you just stop being gay? You be a man, you be a woman, let's just go to the kingdom. No. He's going to tear some stuff up. He's going to have to make an example. He's going to have to prove some people wrong. He's going to have to destroy a lot of people.
Right.
This is what nobody is understanding. So read it says, truth is fled, read.
It says, for truth is fallen in the street, and equity cannot enter.
And equity cannot enter, read.
Yea, truth faileth.
Truth faileth.
And he that departeth from evil.
And the man that departed from evil or speaks about evil.
Maketh himself a prey.
And maketh himself a prey. I want you to go up now. Let's still deal with this school system. Let's read into that one real quick, and then we'll go to the actual video. The CBS News. No, not that one. Right there, yeah. And then we'll go to the video. Because this same guy that was talked about in his article secretly recorded this teacher that kicked him out.
CBN News.
Yep. It says, keep your beliefs at home. Student booted from class for saying there are two genders.
Hold on. Can you read it again?
Keep your beliefs at home. Student booted from class for saying there are two genders.
Now, you can physically see that there is man and a woman.
How do you know what bathroom to go into?
When they born, it's two.
Like,
say what? You're only born in one
that
gender.
bathroom with everybody on it too, right?
Oh man, you're right.
It's a man and a woman.
Yeah.
We're not talking about animals and species. We're talking about a human race, man and woman. Can we go to Genesis real quick? Sure. Just got to bring some understanding to it. We just got to read it all.
Man, this is crazy. And this is on, what's that, CBN?
CBN, yeah. CBN. Let's go to Genesis. Genesis chapter 1. Verse 26.
The book of Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them.
Male and female, he created he what?
Them.
Again, even dealing with the species. When I was speaking about the species, I'm talking about different class. Like you have different classes of birds. That's the only way we can get into a discussion about differences. But when it comes down to human beings, there's only two types. Even if you didn't read the Bible, it's still only two types. That's just obvious. This guy was kicked out of the classroom for saying that there's only two genders. Where was the principal that actually came to the class and said, what are you doing? Why are you putting him out of the classroom? He's actually right.
Tell the truth.
It's policy, which he's going to say. He said, keep your beliefs at home. Student booted from class after saying that there's only two genders. Let's read some more of this thing.
So that's their beliefs that it's not two genders.
Yeah, exactly. They're allowed to push their beliefs, though.
It says the entire discussion was caught on camera. The student and the teacher are unidentified in the video.
In this video, but we got another one on YouTube when he actually filmed.
The student asked the teacher why he kicked him out of class. You aren't being inclusive, the teacher said on the video. I know what the authority thinks and point of view. It's very clear that we make no discrimination on the grounds. I'm sorry what you chose to make an issue about a point that is contrary to policy.
Contrary to policy. But we're going to see exactly what he said. I just want you to see that it's official. It's on CBN News. But go back to the YouTube video. Let's get the YouTube video. I want you to see the actual video.
Taylor Swift's video takes up people that oppose the LGBTQ.
You're entitled to your opinion.
If I am, then why would you kick me out of class? It's not very inclusive of
Could I finish
opinion.
my sentence, please? Not very inclusive. No, I'm sorry, what you were saying was not very inclusive, and this is an inclusive school.
Yeah, how was what I was saying?
Because I was saying that what's wrong with the website is that there are more than one gender in this country by
That's
law.
your opinion.
That is my opinion, and that is an opinion which is acceptable in the school. I'm afraid yours, which you're saying that there's no such thing as anyone other than male or female, is not
Scientifically,
inclusive.
there are just two genders, depending on what
I get
gender
it. But you're choosing to make an issue of this, because I said, are you really going to hear? That was your opportunity to keep quiet.
You made the issue with it on the website. You said, oh, this website doesn't have more than two
Murray,
genders.
you were clearly given an opportunity not to pursue it. You chose to do so.
Yeah, because I think it's
You
silly.
chose to do so. Yes, that's the key question. You chose to do so.
I think it's silly to have anything other than two genders. So
Okay.
Anything else is a
Could you
personal
please keep that opinion to your own house? Thank you. Not in the
So
school.
you get to put your opinion out in class, and my
No,
opinion has to,
I am not.
my
putting
opinion has to stay
I am
inside my
not
house.
putting my opinion. I am not putting my opinion out. I am stating what is national school authority policy. Okay?
Well, it's not scientific whatsoever.
Not every policy is scientific, Brian. Not every policy is scientific, Murray.
And you can't come out here and say that I'm not being inclusive when someone says
I
something you
didn't say
disagree with.
I said what you were saying was not being inclusive.
You kicked me out of class. If you want to have a discussion about it, we could have had a discussion. You don't have to kick me out of class.
I'm
and
sorry,
waste 30 minutes of my time, where I could have been down revising, doing something else. Instead, I state something I believe in. You kick me out of class for 30 minutes. I'm waiting on the
Take this somewhere else, Murray. You can make an official complaint.
I'm not
Please
going to
do.
make an official complaint.
Why not?
I just think it's...
I know what you think, and I know what the authority thinks. I know what the authority's point of view.
Well, I know
it's
what
very
science thinks.
very clear that we make no discrimination on the grounds of various...
I wasn't making discrimination. I'm simply saying there are two genders, male and female.
Yeah.
Anything else is a personal identification.
I'm sorry, but you chose to make an issue of making a point which is contrary to policy.
You made the issue when you complained about the website, sir.
Yes, and I made it in a way...
And I responded to
and
that
I
by
made,
saying, but there are only two genders.
and
I never
said
made the issue.
Okay, I am not going here. You can choose, but you're making bad choices.
I'm making bad choices, okay.
I think-
Well, can I take my bag and go to the research area and start revising
No,
it?
you can stay here.
Okay, I'll stay here. Thanks for wasting my time.
Murray, I am not allowed to tell you how much of my time you have wasted.
They know that stuff ain't real. He can't walk out the room and leave it alone. He know. Every time he mentioned there's only 2 genders, come back.
Yeah, you don't like that.
No, he
That's
don't.
The school, the national policy.
It's probably bothering him. He
Right.
probably feel bad.
That's all I'm just gonna say, because he explaining it, but it's like he knows it's wrong. But what it's doing is over time he's gonna become so desensitized to it that now it's just accepted.
It's accepted, yeah. Like you said, we had a video about it being in track. I don't know if we got time to play it. I don't know. It's so much to talk about. There's so much going on in the world. But we want to get. You was gonna pull something. We'll get into the other ones. We'll leave that one alone about the transgender track. Speak up.
Because he kept stressing the point about policy.
Transgender track star.
Yeah.
That's also part of the policy, apparently. Hey, Bible a true book, man. Daniel 8:25. He kept stressing to the young man about policy. Young man telling him about a homework assignment. The homework assignment, I made a website because there's only you got 2 species, male and female. And this guy is forcing it on his neck. No, you made that a problem. Because the policy says you got to accept everything, right? Read that real quick.
The book of Daniel, chapter 8 and verse 25. And through his policy.
Through his what?
Through his policy. Also, he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand.
Because the craftiness they've been doing, and that's been going on for a while now, especially in our community, we fail to realize when they started pushing that Obama came in, right? That change we thought he was going to believe in, what did he do? He gave sodomites, or you call them homosexuals, rights that we had to fight for years, you still ain't got. And now they got a policy out there that you can't say nothing. You can't even actually speak the truth.
It's a hate speech.
This guy's getting hemmed up for a homework assignment based on policy. That's how they're causing the craft to excel, because now you're like, listen, man, it's really only 2. I got a mother and I got a father. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? But through his policy, what? Now you could get locked up for that, right? It's a hate crime. Just by speaking it. Because you violating their policy. You violating the school policy.
I think they even experimenting with men when they trying to put babies in men, right? I think they was trying something.
They've been doing that for a
We
little
got
while.
sisters that work in the medical field. Sisters, they doing that, right? They experimented with men, putting babies in men, right?
They
trying to work on it.
They actually claimed.
They doing that, right? One that you know of.
They actually already claimed.
Where's it gonna come out from?
They claimed that happened. That claimed that happened one time with a transgender.
Yeah,
it was
I know
a
you're talking
woman
about. It was a
already who got pregnant.
Yeah.
Then she changed her gender. Then it says man, the first man had a baby.
Yeah, it was a Moabite.
Yeah, it was
So they
that's
crafty
the one
with
you're
it.
talking about, right?
You know
There's
why,
one more.
You know why that's crazy? A man is not built like a sister.
Right.
You ain't got the space right there to hold no child. So there's some things missing or ripped out.
New York?
Where are
Europe?
In Europe. Go figure.
Right.
The border.
You're talking about a real man, though, not a transgender.
Not a transvestite, dude.
A real man.
A man. It's a real man.
Where is this baby?
It was a real
coming
man.
out?
See, it's confusion, man. 'Cause they look
Straight
confused.
C-section, huh?
That'd be crazy.
Come on.
That's that science.
Imagine what that do to a child. You came out of a man.
Right. Oh man.
But that's why they're attacking the school system first, because the kids got to be cool with it. Kids got to. There's no problem with it.
Jack a child
The
up.
whole earth is defiled.
The whole everybody in the class gonna be picking on that. You came out of a man. I came out of a mom.
Hey, they won't be picking on him like that. They're trying to make it normal. Like, oh, don't pick on him.
Yeah, you right. You right.
Because
They
there's
make it
nothing.
normal. I got a mom.
Somebody else did that. I got a mommy and a
Goodness.
daddy. Trying to make that's crazy.
And now we talked about that also too. Now where you have a choice. Going back to what's being said now, you have a choice to say whether your child is a baby, or male or female.
When they
Wait a minute. Wait.
What is a baby?
Baby is not labeling a child male or female. It's a baby, meaning.
So they just get to choose from birth, whatever.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
But technically, because children don't know anything, they have to be persuaded.
Yeah.
Whatever you want them to do now. Wow.
Giving them a choice. It's a baby. That's actual term. Yeah. Medical term. A medical term they have now. A baby. No joke. It's getting serious. Let's go to Matthews. We got so much more videos in little time. It's now 7:13. We got to end it at 8. So let's get to Matthews 24. And we got a couple more videos that we want to play.
Once again, it's a Lion's Den radio show. You could call us in. What's that good number again? 407
545 4624.
Call in. We want to hear if y'all seeing the same things we seeing. If y'all been scratching your heads like for real. I wonder what's been going on. These brothers bringing it out with the scriptures, giving y'all the answer to what's going on and the solution.
I mean, you see it. Christ even speaks about making a time short for the election's sake. Have y'all noticed time is short?
Yeah, man.
June
is gone. June is over, bro. And I was sitting there thinking I had a storage. I'm trying to clean that. So I'm gonna clean it out next month. I'm saying that in May. I'm like, dang, it's almost gonna be July. I gotta clean that storage out.
Right.
I got a week to do it. That's it. This is the last week.
Time is flying. Time is flying. It's just. It don't even feel like 24 hours more. Days is just
crazy.
Flying, and that's all prophecy. And again, like you said, you living in it whether you believe it or not.
Exactly.
Your time is still short, just by prophecy. Whether you believe in the Bible or not, you're living through biblical prophecies. You're living through.
Oh, that's heavy.
That's the
Officer
Arnold
Elliott
Schwarzenegger.
actually sent something. I forgot about.
Yeah, that's
that
an old
movie.
school movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That was definitely the signs of the times.
Yeah.
It's like
when was that?
20 years ago.
That was a long time ago.
There you go. They already was pushing it in. It was introduced. They put it in movies before
and look, and just so little time though.
Dang, you know what I thought about? Joanna Man.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
I just said. Yeah,
He was in. You did say that.
Yeah.
He was on the basketball
real
team.
life Joanna
So
Man
little.
now.
You talking about 20 years or less introduced? Now it's running rampant.
Wow.
It has become law.
Hey, but we understand how the movie system works. A lot of stuff that happens is gonna happen. They put it in the movies
Yeah,
first.
they do.
They put it in there.
And since you say that, show you how close it is. Even they're totally inaccurate on how they portray things with aliens and stuff like that. Why do you think they got so many end of the world movie, apocalypse movies, stuff like that? How to survive on your own? They know what time it is. The Earth stood still, the water world, Independence Day. So many movies, God's, all of these end time movies. They know that this thing is coming to an end. They know it. Let's go to Matthew 24. They know it's coming to an end. Matthew 24. Also, before you get that, I had scripture that I wanted to go to. Did I get that now? Yeah, go to 2nd Ezra. Show you how close we are to the end. And then we'll read what Christ said about it. 2nd Ezra 4 and 43.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 4, verse 43. From the beginning, look, what thou desirest to see, it shall be shewed thee. Then answered I and said, if I have found favor in thy sight, and if it be possible, and if I be meet therefore, shew me then whether there be more to come than is past.
So Ezra was saying, show me if the time is like you say it's going to be. Show me how much time do we exactly have? Is it going to be more to come that is past, or what?
Or more past that is to come.
Or did more past that already passed than it is to come? Are we halfway there, or are we there close to where a lot has already happened? How close are we? This is what he was asking. Read.
What is past, I know, but what is for to come, I know not. And he said unto me, stand up upon the right side, and I shall expound the similitude unto thee.
So he expounded to him a similitude about how close and how far we are from the ending of all things. Read.
So I stood and saw, and behold, an hot burning oven passed by before me.
And I saw, and behold, a hot burning oven passed by before me. Read.
And it happened that when the flame was gone by, I looked, and behold, the smoke remained still. After this there passed by before me a watery cloud, and sent down much rain with a storm. And when the stormy rain was past, the drops remained still.
So he's talking about the oven. It passed by, and what remained is the smoke. The rain cloud passed by, and what remained behind is the drops of rain. Read.
Then said he unto me, consider with thyself, as the rain is more than the drops, and as the fire is greater than the smoke, but the drops and the smoke remain behind. So the quantity which is past did more exceed.
So what he was telling us, said, this is much more than past than you actually know. That's why Christ says, he's going to come as a thief in the night. It's almost over. He's saying, like, as you see an oven pass by, the bulk of the main event is already passed. The fire. This is what you should be focusing on. That's the main event. This stuff has already happened. So now what you're seeing now is the after effects of the fire, the smoke. That's the little parts of it. That right there disintegrates quickly as the fire gets further away from you. Same with the cloud. You're now just remaining in the little drops of rain until that cloud moves farther away from you. He's saying this is how close we are. Every prophecy, it has been fulfilled already. We read about in Revelation the river Euphrates is drying up. We heard and seen the rumors of wars in diverse places, earthquakes, the pestilence, the what else we read about? The famines. Look at what's going on in Venezuela. Look at what happened in Haiti. Look at what's happening in California. All of these things are happening. These are signs. These are writings on the wall. These are the bulk of the sign. But Christ said these are the beginning also too. But then he spoke about something else that would happen also that will be after those beginnings. Let's read about them. Let's go back to Matthew 24 and let's read. Let's start up at the top. Matthew 24 verse 1.
The book of Matthew, chapter 24 and verse 1. And Jesus went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple. And Jesus said unto them, see ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another.
So he was referring to that little temple back then.
That shall not be thrown down.
So the temple was going to fall at that time. It fell in 70 AD. Read.
And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming, and of the end of the world?
And of the end of the world. Now, they was just not talking about the world is leaving. Like you see, again, their movies are inaccurate when they tell you that the world is going to explode, it's going to be set on fire. They show you that in the movie The Knowing, like the whole world disintegrated. That's not how it's going to be. Certain lands the Most High is going to finish. Babylon, he spoke about that. He didn't speak about the entire earth. That's not why he created the earth to destroy it. They tell you that. Okay, they tell you that. They fill that up in your heads because they'll tell you, see, God don't exist. This is what's going to happen if the world is hit with fire. Everybody's going to die. You lose faith, you said God don't exist. Global warming, we're getting coming close to the sun. Now you believe in the science. It's all lies they put out there in Hollywood. The Most High is going to destroy Babylon, and he's going to destroy near islands near to it. It says every island is going to move out of this place. Islands are going to be touched too. Everything that is associated with this land, that's why it says, come not into her plagues. It says, come not into her what? Something that you might receive not of her plagues. Come not into her sins that you receive not of her plagues. So when they said the end of the world, it was talking about the end of a kingdom. Read that in the book of Acts, chapter 1, verse 6. Acts 1, verse 6.
The book of Acts, chapter 1 and verse 6. Wherefore, when they therefore were come together, they asked of him, saying, Lord, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel?
It says what this is what his disciples was asking, because they knew that he would once return, and they asked him, well, at this time will you restore the kingdom to the nation of Israel? They knew that this would happen in the new world, the new heaven and the new earth. Right. Their kingdom would be established. So when they said the end of the world should come, they was not speaking about the ending of the planet Earth as we know today. We're speaking about the end of that kingdom. The end of that kingdom, of this kingdom, is Esau, and the beginning is Jacob that followeth. Let's read it, in case a lot of people have never read that verse. Let's get it in 2nd Ezra 6 and 8.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6, verse 8. And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows.
So when they spoke about the end of the world, this is what they're referring to. Esau was ruling at that time, the Romans. They were ruling. These are the European nations. That's Esau. That's their tribe. That's their nation.
They showing you they still ruling because it's telling you we got next.
Yeah.
And if Esau's the end of the world, like you brought out in Acts, we still here right now, right? We're not in rulership. That's showing you who the so-called white man is right now.
Absolutely, he's in power.
Proof. Wake up, because look at what they're doing. You can't even send your child to the library anymore without them being persuaded, because they got drag queens in there.
Oh, yeah.
Doing what? Story time. The library was one of the safest places you could be. You would want your child there learning. Now what they gonna learn?
Reading ain't fundamental.
Yeah, no, not no more. Yeah, that's out the window now. Let's go back to Matthews. Yeah, reading is out the window for some anyway.
The book of Matthew, chapter 24, in verse.
You left off at verse 3, right?
Yes, sir.
I want to jump down, straight to the points down. Let's read verse 4. Let's jump.
Verse 4.
Yeah, read on, actually.
And Jesus answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many.
And many shall come in my name, saying that I am Christ, and shall deceive many. This is many that come in his name, saying that they are Christians. They follow after Christ. They're Christ-like, and they're deceiving many. Again, we mentioned how a lot of people are leaving the church. This is why a lot of people are now, all of a sudden, coming out of the pulpit speaking about, yeah, we need to go against this Israelite doctrine. This is the only time they want to do something, when they losing members. And they know why they losing members. They ain't got nothing to do with us. If you teach the truth, the people will stay. That's the only reason why people are leaving, and they come into people that actually teach who they are, because it's truth. You don't know who you are in the Christian church. You're teaching them lies, so they're looking for the truth. They're trying to find out who they are. They're trying to find out why they're experiencing turmoil in their community, so they're finding people that are actually speaking about it. Right. And that's us on the four corners. That's us on the street teaching about how we're being gunned down, why we're the poorest. They're looking for the answers to their questions. That's why they leave in the church. It ain't got nothing to do with us. It's the truth that you never been teaching. It's deceiving many. Read on.
Verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass.
All of these things must come to pass. Read.
But the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation,
which we've been seeing for a very long time. Read.
And kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes.
We got that one real quick. I think Daniel posted. It's in there. It's about. Let me see here. 1 second. We got one. We want to put it. Yeah. No. Yeah, right there. Yeah, let's get that one. About the earthquakes. Give me that one real quick. Yeah, hold on to that one too. We coming back to that one.
False prophet Joshua.
No, you ain't miss him yet.
Hey, you know that dude look like that basketball player, right?
You look like Westbrook.
Let's get this. 1 second. And this ain't even discussing the forest fires. Everything we see in California on fire. This is the earthquakes.
It says a swarm of 1,000 earthquakes hit Southern California.
What's the question?
How nervous should we be?
Do we not know that this is the end? They know that. Everybody knows it. You can tell. It's almost to an end. The news is asking, how nervous shall we be? How nervous should we be? Everybody knows that this thing is coming to an end, but they can't put their finger on it. They can't put their finger on it. And this ain't Mother Nature doing this. Ain't nobody mother doing this. This ain't it. This is the Most High's creation. This is His judgment. This is His judgment. It says a swarm of 1,000 earthquake hit California. How nervous should we be?
Scroll down.
And this ain't something old. This is June 19, 2019.
The seismic storm that unleashed more than 1,000 small earthquakes in San Bernardino and Riverside counties these last 3 weeks elicited what has become a typical reaction in Quake County. Okay, Quake Country. To some, the Swarmageddon, 40 miles.
Swarmageddon. Look at the verbiage they're using. Armageddon, right? Swarmageddon.
The Swarmageddon, 40 miles east of downtown Los Angeles, brought fear that a bigger threat was coming. To others, as long as they didn't feel a shake, it was easy to just put it out of their minds. California has small quakes all the time, a magnitude 3 every other day on average. but not all of them act the same, and some bring more danger than others.
You know what? Since you just read that, that brought up something that I watched a while back. They said the same thing during Hurricane Katrina.
Right.
They said, you know, we're not gonna go nowhere. We're gonna stay right here. We experiencing these things all the time. We're gonna ride it out. A lot of them lost their life.
Yep.
A lot of them lost their life during that time. And it's gonna be the same thing that's going on now, unfortunately. A lot of people gonna lose their life because they think they can just ride this out. If there is a war, they ain't gonna touch America. We're great people. We got technology. We can defend our country. I trust in the troops. I trust in the president.
Right.
This ain't no Iranians doing it. This is the Most High God doing this. He's using people to do it, but this ain't got nothing to do with no people on earth. This is a God we're talking about that's bringing this judgment, and you can't get used to what He's bringing. He said He's gonna bring something to melt elements.
You know, because stuff like this, you get them, what they call them, conspiracy theories, and they come with the heart machine, the heart machine.
Yeah.
And my thing is this: okay, you got a heart machine. Who you think put it in that man's mind to make a weapon for his own destruction?
You got it right. Okay.
Isaiah.
Yeah.
Isaiah, get that real quick. Isaiah 29:6. Because I understand. I used to do them type of stuff too, looking into all of that. Because I used to. You trying to figure it out. So you figure, all right, it got to be him. It got to be this. It got to be that. And you start to get wrapped up in all that stuff, and you fail to realize there's a God up in heaven.
I was a big conspiracy theorist before I came into the truth.
You really, even like the nuclear weapons, right? Imagine a man made you think a man just came up with a device that can destroy himself and his enemy, and that was a natural thought. I'm gonna create a weapon that, you know what? I know it's gonna kill me, but it's gonna kill you too.
Right.
Yeah.
And we gonna threaten each other. You gonna push the button? I'm gonna push the button. No, you gonna push the button. I remember in what was that? First grade. It was probably like 89, 90, and they was talking about that. They used to train us talking about running the hallway, going the doorway or whatever. Yeah. And they used to tell us that time. I think it was with the Berlin Wall and all of that. It was coming down, and it was like, oh, they got nukes faced at us. And we got ones faced at Russia. And then we were sitting down there, and teacher was like, well, you know, if anyone pushed the button, it's just over. Period, right? Because if I shoot mine at yours, it's gonna hit what you got, stockpiled, and then it's done. It's just whoever don't get burned up, eventually gonna get diseased and poisoned.
The radiation in the water. Eventually, it's gonna happen. It's game over.
But read that real quick because.
But nobody ain't thinking that far.
Nah, they're not thinking that far. But what they will do is go on YouTube and say, nah, it's the heart machine.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, they target in certain areas. Why do you think California always get earthquakes? Always. He pressed the button. Look. It's the heart machine. Let's see what the Bible says about that.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 29 and verse 6. Thou shalt be visited of the Lord of hosts.
By who?
Of the Lord of hosts.
Come on.
With thunder and with earthquake.
With what?
And with earthquake.
Most High God is visiting this place. He's bringing forth righteous judgment with thunder and earthquake. That same thunder, when we came out of Egypt, he talked to us. He talked us out the cloud with thunder and fire.
Right.
And now he coming back with thunder and what?
Thunder and earthquake.
Come on.
And great noise. With storm and tempest. And the flame of devouring fire.
That flame of devouring fire is that stuff you see in the news right now. The Trump and them playing games, talking about, yeah, he shot down the drone. We scrambling on them. Everybody getting nervous. Then nah. We just joking. Maybe it was an accident. You know, everybody getting all up in an uproar because even with this earthquake, I ain't hear about no kind of mass evacuation or nothing.
Right.
You got 1,000 earthquakes in that little space of time. You got aftershocks and everything, and everybody's acting like, yeah, well, you know, it's just California. It's sunshine. That's what we got to put up with.
I'm gonna send this thing right now. We ain't have this pulled up, but I'm gonna send this thing.
And it show you they don't even know what's going on because that drone. How much was that drone? It was like $100 million or something ridiculous. Y'all seen the price on it?
No.
The drone was like $100 million or something. It was something crazy.
The one they shot down.
Yes, that they shot down. That's why they was such in the uproar. They invested all that money in that drone. It got shot down. Right.
They're using that drone for.
That's what I'm saying.
They know what they're using it for. They keep it not at home. That's the scripture. They in every man's land. They was over there messing with the Iranians. This man is pride. I believe they did it because they wanted them to shoot. Right. So they can go over there and take over.
Any excuse to do.
Any excuse for war. This man is he lived by the sword. That's the prophecy. You finished the verse, right?
Yeah.
So it said in the bottom of that, it says, inflaming, devouring fire. Let's read something about what's going on or what happened in California.
Scroll
this
up.
is in June 7th, right?
Yep.
Published June 7th. And it was updated on the 9th. Let's see what's going on or what happened in California. Again, Bible prophecy. We read about 1,000 earthquakes. And now we're reading about a fire.
It says, hammer sparks cause California's largest wildland fire in state history's official state. Roll down a little more. It says Sacramento, California. Sparks from a hammer driving a metal stake into the ground ignited a 2018 blaze in Northern California that killed a firefighter and became the largest wildfire in state history, officials said Thursday. The blaze started July 17, 2018 in Mendocino County and quickly spread, aided by dry vegetation, strong winds, and hot temperatures. It spread to Colusa, Glenn, and Lake counties, the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection said.
Now we'll stop there, but this is just one. This is one incident. There was many before this. They're talking about a hammer struck, and that's how the fire ignited. I mean, whatever. Say what you want. Right. We know who started that fire.
That sounds like
we know who blew the sparks. We know
Right.
who did that. Right. It's Final Destination. We know what's going on. The Most High said He's going to visit the earth with thunder, earthquake, great noise, storm, tempest, and devouring flame. We read about that tempest or what happened about that tempest in Japan. We seen that happen. The Most High visit the earth. This is how He visits. This is how He makes His
seen one
appearance.
for the first time. I was scrolling through last night. It was a tsunami, and I was expecting like a huge wave, but it was like over the process of time, and you could tell that it was something that happens to them on a regular basis because they had the walls built up for it. And the guys recording, you just see the water take time and just come over. It started washing away buildings and everything. Like you got 3-story buildings were just crumbling like sand, just washed away everything. The boats was coming over. Everything was sitting on. You got boat sitting outside, parked in front of your house. It was crazy.
But then we read it. It says all of these are the beginnings of sorrows.
Yeah, that's only the beginning.
People don't know it.
They don't understand.
How you read that and just think that Christ is a person that just passed out? What would Jesus do for us?
That's right.
He said all of this stuff, and that's just the beginning. I got more to offer.
Okay. They don't seem to understand.
Christ is going around passing out loaves and fishes. That's what he was here to do.
Verse 9, Matthew 24.
The book of Matthew, chapter 24 and verse 9. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many.
And many false prophets shall arise and shall deceive many. What are these false prophets shall? What are they going to do? Now I want to get that article. Let's jump down to verse 23.
The book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 23. Then, if any man shall say unto you, Lo, here is Christ, or there, believe it not. For there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect.
Verse 26.
Verse 26. Wherefore, if they shall say unto you, Behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. Behold, he is in the secret chambers, believe it not.
So it says there will be people on this earth actually performing miracles and say that they are the Messiah. False Christ rising, saying, performing miracles, having people believe it. Here's a brother by the name of Joshua Holmes. And you got people on that are actually naming themselves after this man. Changing their name on social media after the name Tasha Holmes, Mark Holmes, after this man here.
Scripture is that.
In his book, it's in his scriptures. It's in Joshua Holmes, chapter 1, verse 5. Play it real quick.
What did you feel? You felt something powerful? Yes, I heard it. You heard it. See, you got spiritual. See, there are angels here that heal your body.
Now this is bad quality. Somebody was recording it, so it's not good quality. But if you can't hear it, I'll try to make it out to you. I'm gonna see how it sounds on my side, and if it doesn't sound clear, we'll try to clear it up. What was actually said. Or you can put subtitles on it. Okay, let's do that.
That's crazy. This brother's supposed to be preaching. No Bible in hand. Looking effeminate too, like.
Oh no, this he cleaned up right here. He
sees a bow in the flesh. That's
good.
What he is.
This is okay. You got to see his other stuff.
Your physical body. What did you feel? You felt something powerful? Yes, I heard it. You heard it. See, you got spiritual. See, there are angels here that heal your body. So, it's Jesus the Son of God that is all the glory. He's just using our hands and feet, but he's touching.
All right, I don't know what YouTube is hearing, but he ain't saying none of that stuff. Stop. She was saying that she felt something come over her and she feels healed. She's saying she don't have pain in her back or whatever the case may be. She feels. I can't hear exactly what she's saying. I heard the video a while back, but she's saying she's feeling better. And he was like, "Okay, church, say amen." You hear what she's saying?
It's just power. It's just power. That's why I'm trying to explain that it's just power. And can I just say this, prophet? Yes. Since I've been following you, I can feel your spirit through the phone.
She said she can feel his spirit.
I was praying to God, I know that you can come in the form of man. Anyway, you want to. And I asked you to come now. When I first saw you, I flipped past. Second time I saw you, I'm like, no, I haven't seen John. The third time,
Okay, I think she already said it. But you see how he's taking it, what she told him. What this sister had told him was, he is Jesus Christ in the flesh. She told him that he is Jesus in the flesh.
Why are we still here?
And this is old. This is an old video. You should see the way people are taking this thing. People are coming up backing him like, yeah, he is Jesus in the flesh. People are backing him up. People are backing him up. And he ain't rebuking his sister like, sis, don't think too high. Even angels did that. Get up off your feet. I'm just a man. I'm your servant. Right. You read about that angels coming. The prophet, like John the Revelator, bowing down to an angel. Get up. I'm your fellow servant. Worship God. This man hollering like this.
That brother wants the preeminence.
The same brother that is accused of being in a sex tape.
Right, yeah, exactly.
That same brother is Jesus Christ.
Again, this is old. All the sex tape stuff. When he was hollering, when he was congratulating that he was Jesus, the sex tape was in the making.
That's the one
that came out later. This is old.
This is the one that got knocked upside the head, right?
Yeah, with a wife saying,
yeah, that's the one. That's the one. I pray he repent. This is on YouTube.
Russell Westbrook.
It's on YouTube.
When you keep playing on, this is what and he got the sister speaking up for him. It was two sisters. This is the same video.
By him being Jesus.
Yeah, I think that was what.
That's the one I'm talking about. They backing him up saying that he was Jesus because it was another pastor that came out and said, how could you sit there and congratulate that? You should have said something. You being a man of God, you should have said something. This lady just called you Jesus. The pastor upset. And he was, and the sisters made a response to him like, yeah, he is Jesus. And they all gave their testimony. But this is what Christ was talking about, though. This is what he was talking about.
In Christ, he revealed himself to Paul, right? Saul turned Paul. I wanted to read something real quick. Because this right here fits a T to this brother's spirit and everything, because he started yelling out and all type of chucking and jiving, and in the background, I don't know what that brother's doing right there. He got, got hands to the head.
He believes he Jesus.
I see his 2 sisters in the back.
Yeah,
There's a bunch of sisters over there.
Chicken head sister.
Yeah.
That's the rooster sister. You got the rooster dude. Red rooster.
I want to read this real quick. 2 Timothy chapter 3. 2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 1.
The book of 2 Timothy chapter 3 and verse 1. This know also that in the last days.
What days?
The last days.
Because what we showing our people is the writing is on the wall. We definitely in the last days.
Oh, we here. We here.
Come on.
Perilous times shall come.
Dangerous times is here. Come on.
For men shall be lovers of their own selves.
This brother right here is a narcissist.
Right.
This is a narcissist spirit right here. Read.
Covetous. Boasters. Proud. Blasphemers.
He gonna be a what?
Blasphemers.
He know good darn well he ain't no Christ in the flesh.
Right.
And they should know better too, like you were saying. Every pastor that's out there that actually believe in this Bible, whether the small understanding you have, you should be rebuking this brother, correcting this brother.
Right.
Especially if you love the brother, man. Come on, you know what's gonna happen to a blasphemer. Read.
Disobedient to parents. Unthankful, unholy.
This brother ain't got no spirit in him. Read.
Without natural affection. Truce breakers. False accusers.
Read.
Incontinent. Fierce. Despisers of those that are good.
Because like you was bringing out, Cap, when we come out and actually teach the truth according to the Bible, against Christianity, we get hated.
Right.
We get kicked off the corner. Mind you, what are we telling them? Stop doing this. Marriage. That's honorable. You know what I'm saying? Get your house in order. Brothers, be men. Clean up the community. Things of that nature. Repent, because you know what's coming right now. You, like you said, the heat is around the corner.
It's coming. Yeah, it's coming.
Hey, this stuff right here, when you see this stuff, this is good stuff, though, to see. Go to Zechariah. I'm going to tell you why, because Zechariah 13 verse 8. When we see people acting crazy, I was talking to Officer Ezekiel about what he's seen in Atlanta at the Freaknik. He was talking about.
I'm pretty sure y'all got plenty of war stories of what y'all saw.
Yeah, he was talking about how depressing it was to see people like that. I said, you got to think like this. When you see that stuff, rejoice.
Right.
Because Zechariah 13, they read that.
The book of Zechariah, chapter 13 and verse 8. And it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith the Lord, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die.
So somebody has to play those parts.
Right.
And we go out and teach and everybody's repenting and everybody's accepting the word, then the end ain't going to come. Right. This has to come to pass. And when we see these things, no, we can't say you the 2/3, but if you don't repent, you're going to be that. So somebody has to play the role of the saved and the unsaved.
Right.
Everybody ain't going to be saved. So when we see that, we got to say, okay, all right, we move on to the next person. Maybe they'll receive the word. If not, we know who's going to be the 2/3 and who's not going to be the 2/3.
Yeah, because when we go teach, all praise to the Most High, we're making the time short by, you know what I'm saying, doing what he commanded us to go do.
So the prophet Joshua, hey, somebody got to be the false prophet and act crazy. And, hey, if he want to be that, that's him.
You know, it's funny you say that, right? 1 Corinthians real quick. Go back to that. 1 Corinthians chapter 11.
We just showing you prophecy in the scripture. That's all we showing you by this. We don't know this brother. Don't know him from nothing. But this
Writing got to be on the wall.
What is actually going on.
Writing has to be on the wall.
It's on YouTube. Yeah, because this is the point. We got to see these stuff to see the difference. That way, our brothers and sisters, they open their Bible, and Lord's will they start to read. Even this brother, Lord's will he repent.
Yeah. Right.
You see the error of his ways, but read this real quick. 1 Corinthians 11:19.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 11 and verse 19. For there must also be heresies among you.
So you're gonna have to, like the officer's bringing out, you're gonna see things like this happen, especially we keep on pushing this truth, right? You're gonna see the difference between the good and the evil. Read.
That they which are approved may be made manifest among you.
So you can see who's the true believers, who the real Israelites according to the Bible, who's actually going out there doing the work, raising up their people, who really cares about black lives.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to see these type of stuff. Unfortunately, yeah, it's a hard pill to swallow, but you got to look out for those of us who's trying to get right and keep on pushing forward. And Lord's will, you get it right. Other than that, like you said, some people are just appointed to be the poor example, what not to follow.
Because here they are worshiping a man, calling him Christ, when Christ said himself, don't even worship me. They're trying to call him Jesus, and they're trying to worship him.
Worshiping man, yeah.
Christ said himself, worship the Father, not me. So these people is Lord, will he wake up and see this and be like, okay, I don't want to be that part of the false prophet.
Signs of the time.
Repent and it'll be somebody else, but it's going to be somebody.
And that's the thing, because, you know, he's in a position where he's supposed to be teaching the people, so he's supposed to actually be giving them the warning we're giving right now. Especially what been going on in the news recently. I seen, I think you had the article up there a while ago.
Which one?
Dealing with, that was it? Who posted that one? But even this past week. Because if you notice, for the past, honestly, since he's been in office, it's like every week is he going to push the button? Is he not going to push the button?
Oh, we're going to say that. We got to say that.
Okay, all praises.
That right there, that's the sentence on Babylon. We're going to say that one for last.
I just like to hear the judgment.
Oh, yeah, I love it too. That sparked the title for this class, actually. But we got some more, though. Going into some of these signs, it says, the love of many shall wax cold. You actually just read one back in Timothy. But it says, disobedient to parents. There's an article that's posted on there. I want you to post it. Young black sister, what she did to her mother. I want to read that in Timothy's again. It says, the love of many shall wax cold, because iniquity shall abound. Remember, because we read, truth is fled. Iniquity shall abound. Lawlessness, it means it's going to grow. Nobody's not going to be able to say nothing about it, because again, it becomes unlawful to speak about it. Can't speak about homosexuality. It's getting to the point where you can't say nothing about nobody no more, because now it's bullying. Everybody's creating a law to implement evil, again, like you said, policy, to create evil in the earth. So it's become to the point where nobody can't say nothing against nobody. Lawlessness. Because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Disobedient parents. And it says in the last days. Read this thing real quick.
It says, teen who killed her mother.
Teen who killed her mother. Before you read on. Before you read on. Go back to Timothy. Before you read on.
Gotcha. The book of 2 Timothy, chapter 3 and verse 2. For men,
3:1.
Verse 1. This know also that in the last days.
In the last days.
Perilous time shall come.
In the last days. Perilous time shall come. In the last days. That's when it's almost over. What is going to happen as a sign for it being almost over? Verse 2 again.
For men shall be lovers of their own selves.
And we see that. Men shall be lovers of their own selves. Read. Everybody
covetous.
Their own. Read.
Boasters. Proud. Blasphemers.
Blasphemers. Now you have like what? You have which they now label to be the richest woman in the hip hop industry, Rihanna. The richest woman. You remember the radio show we brought out recently about that? What was the show?
Oh, like as far as them selling themselves out.
Selling themselves out, right? We did a radio show recently, and she was telling the kids, pray to Satan.
Right.
Worship the devil.
Satan didn't.
Jesus never answered your prayers. Just pray to Satan. You'll get everything you want. Recently, 2 weeks ago, she was just now labeled the richest black woman in the hip hop industry. Right. Rihanna. Yeah? She was just labeled the richest woman in the hip hop industry. Blasphemous.
Right.
Blasphemous. Read on.
Yeah, say mad now.
Disobedient to parents.
Disobedient to parents. And when was this going to happen? In the last days. We just read it. Verse 1. What happened? Let's read this article.
Teen who killed her mother by stabbing her 60 times says, I do miss my mom, as she's sentenced.
Now you miss it. It's crazy. I had another story where these two sisters killed their mother. Like, it's not even, this ain't like a one-time deal. It happens all the time.
You know, like you was bringing out before, we was already getting, it was brought out to us before, but now it's just more rampant, right? Y'all remember the Menendez brothers?
Yeah.
Two Northern Kingdom brothers?
Yeah.
They did this. They stabbed at the parents. I think they came out of jail maybe like, what, a couple years ago, 2-3 years ago they actually came out. They did this. They chopped up their parents while their parents were sleeping. Right. And they was living a good life.
Yep, they was rich.
And remember at one point in time, we used to say things like this that happened, oh, that's white folks do that.
It used to be.
Not no more.
Like, we used to watch shows like, I forget the name of the show, like, you see these white kids like, shut up, mom. Like, ain't no way that happened in a black house. Ain't no way. Now you see
on the
Black
bus,
girls slapping their mama,
beating their mama down on the bus.
Times has changed. Time has changed. It's a new spirit in here.
It says,
days.
an Indiana teen who fatally stabbed her mother has been sentenced to 45 years in prison. On Wednesday, 17-year-old Chastity Reeves was sentenced by a Lake Superior Court judge as part of a plea deal, the Chicago Tribune and NWI Times report. During the hearing, the teen told the judge she regretted murdering her mother. If I could go back, I wouldn't do it, Reeves said. I do miss my mother. In February 2017, Reeves' mother, Jamie Garnett, 34, was found dead in their Gary home. She had been stabbed 60 times. An Amber Alert was issued for Reeves, then 15, who was located and taken into custody.
Now here's the sickening thing about it. She said, if I would go back, I wouldn't do it again. At this point, this sister needs mental help. What are you talking about? You don't stab somebody 60 times and say it was an accident. If I could go back, I would just change things. You stab somebody one time like I was a mistake, I've lashed out. I'm just saying.
60 times.
I lashed out. I didn't know what came over me. I just stabbed her. That's a lot of hatred. You can't just sum that up with, if I just go back, I just wouldn't do it again. Something is going on with this sister. Something caused her to do that. It's a spirit, and the Most High said in times will change where children will become disobedient to parents. Love of many shall wax cold. Mankind will become weaker through age. Something is changing with us. We don't even have the same respect for one another.
You said something is changing, right? I think you're going to pull it too. What's missing from this?
What's missing? Father, absolutely.
Because throughout the whole article, nothing about the dad. So you, more than likely, you have another single.
Got the hell up out of there, bro. Hey, this child's a demon. I'm out.
But it's like a lot of those stuff you see, there's no father in the house. There's no order, no structure, no nothing. You got a single mother raising a daughter at 15, for real, 60 times. Like, you know, a lot of that stuff usually starts with something foolish. Mom didn't want to let me stay out late. She didn't want to give me the keys to the car. They actually try to justify it. Now you're going to say you regret it. You know, when she go to jail now, like we was watching the thing the other day, her mind is truly going to be done now.
Yeah.
They're not going to try to rehabilitate her.
Right.
Nope. We learned that
15 years
today.
old, she's going to have to live with the regret of killing her own mother. Behind bars.
I got a scripture for that. Let's get Revelation chapter 10 and verse 9. Because we're not making light of this, but you must understand that these are prophecies, these things that are happening. So read that for me real quick.
Book of Revelation, chapter 10, verse 9. And I went unto the angel and said unto him, give me the little book.
The Bible read.
And he said unto me, take it and eat it up. And it shall make thy belly bitter, but it shall be in thy mouth sweet as honey.
Read on.
And I took the little book out of the angel's hand and ate it up. And as it was in my mouth sweet as honey, and as soon as I had eaten it, my belly was bitter.
So we must understand that things in this Bible, some things is going to be bitter to us. Some things going to be sweet. It's sweet that, yes, we the greatest people on earth. It's sweet that all the things that's appeasing to us, the things that encourage us. But the bitter thing is when we have to hear stories like this. Our people die. This is a bitter thing to a lot of people. It's hard for our people to understand, but it's necessary, just like Officer Michael brought out. Somebody got to be the 2/3. Somebody has to fulfill that prophecy as well.
Somebody going to be the devil. Yeah, the prophecy is back. Captain OC.
Right.
Officer Brook is back. All
right.
All praises. Bring something up for the last half an hour of the show. I know you got something to bring out. Bring them things out. Hey, Cap gave us a good plug today on Patient Saints. He plugged the show, because I was going to rebuke you. Cap plugged the show, all praises. Lionz then in effect.
We had 2 more articles, and we dealing with this whole war thing. Let's get to the next one. You can pull either one. Right now we're just showing love. Not that one. That's last.
What's the Brute? You got a mic?
Yes, sir.
You can, all right, all praises. You can take my mic.
Go up.
You want to get on the show today? You want to
go up.
Get it? Some kind of scriptures out.
Right. Okay, here, right there. Let's get that one. What is that one? You can go to that one. You can go to that one. So right now, at this point, we're just showing you right now. We're really just pointing out to you the horrendous crimes that goes on in this earth. Something that some of y'all are already familiar with, but we got to point it out. Some of this stuff y'all see on the news daily, but if we don't bring these things all in one, you'll see it spaced out and don't think that nothing's happening. You'll just think that it's normal. This stuff that we read about, the stuff that we seeing on the news, it ain't normal. It ain't normal. It's coming to an end. It's coming to an end. It's time to wake up. It's time to be real about it. Let's read.
It says 2 gang members, 18 and 20, are jailed for life for killing 2 mothers in front of their young children.
Children.
When they opened fire.
Children. That's all it is. It's young boys. Don't know how to be adults. Don't know nothing about life. Killing children in front of, killing their mothers in front of their children. 2 gang members, 18 and 20 years old. Jail for life for killing 2 mothers. Read on.
When they opened fire on a crowded Brooklyn barbecue in a revenge shooting.
Yeah, we can read though. Let's read that. 2 gang members.
It says 2 gang members have been sentenced between 50 years and life in prison for killing 2 mothers in front of their own children when they were fired into a busy barbecue. Nazir Sanders, 22, of Harlem, and Anthony Alexander, 19, of Bedford, were sentenced by Brooklyn Supreme Court for the killings in July 2017. Prosecutors say that the pair opened fire on the party as a part of a gang shooting. A revenge gang shooting. Sanders and Alexander had entered into Stuyvesant Gardens on the evening of July 12th.
That's a little street name, Bed-Stuy. How's he up? I'm talking about
2017, and fired into a crowd of 20 people enjoying a barbecue. But the pair missed their targets, and the bullet struck mothers. China Battle, 21, in the head. And Shaquanda Staley, 29, in the back.
Sad. Let's get the next one. It's a lot more we got on this, so we got to fly through it. We have 30 minutes. Let's get the next one. Showing you just the craziness that's going on in the earth. This one right here was just this ain't even the worst. This is not
Northern Kingdom. You crazy as hell too.
Says prosecutor, mom plotted to kill pregnant woman, still baby. What up? This is
shot down.
A mother plotted for months to acquire a newborn before she and her daughter strangled a pregnant Chicago woman and cut her baby from her womb using a butcher's knife. Prosecutors said Friday as they revealed gruesome new details about the case. Marlene Ochoa Lopez, 19, was lured from the home to where Clarissa Figueroa lived with her daughter Desiree.
This should be a reality call. Wow. Wake up call. This should be a reality wake up call. You want to live in a world where you can't even walk down the street pregnant while somebody got a butcher knife to your stomach ready to cut your baby out? This kind of sick world we live in. You can't tell me that we ain't living in a time where you know it's coming to an end. Where they look at target a pregnant woman and cut her stomach open and steal her baby.
Hey, you know the crazy thing about it? Where did they learn that from? Their oppressors. Yeah. Remember the conquistadors was doing that to Northern Kingdom all day long. Ripping it out of the children. Ripping the children out of the parents. That's a heavy thing. You would expect the daughter's mother to be loving. When you think of a grandmother, you know, you think of a loving woman. You think of somebody's going to, you know, your abuela. You know, somebody's going to rub your head when you're sick. But, you know, this sister has a mother that's going around and they tag teaming to rip a child out of somebody else's stomach. That's a heavy thing. That's a heavy thing. We was looking at that also during the Freaknik. You had grandmothers out there. You have mothers out there, old as dirt, trying to drop it like it's hot, you know? And so, let's get that real quick. What is that? Ezekiel 16:44.
I already knew what y'all was gonna say out there. That's a whole nother level out there.
That thing.
We need the most High's word needs to be in Atlanta for real.
The word went out, and then the rain went out. You know, and shut it down. So all praises to him.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 16 and verse 44. Behold, everyone that useth proverbs shall use this proverb against thee, saying, as is the mother, so is the daughter.
That's the examples that the mothers is given on the face of the earth. A lot of the mothers, I ain't gonna say all of them, but a lot of the mothers is given on the face of the earth without these commandments. Come on.
Thou art thy mother's daughter, that loatheth her husband.
That hates her husband, because the articles that we see, you don't see any man around. Why? Because a majority of them then ran off the husband or the man outside of the home. Keep going.
And her children. And thou art the sister of thy sisters.
Right. So you hate the husband, the man in the house, and you hate the children, because if you really loved them, then you would show them the right way. You wouldn't be plotting on how to rip out a baby out of another woman's stomach. Right? It's a heavy thing. Just wanted to bring that up.
All right, so we got the next one. Let's get to the next one. Here's the next insidious acts on the earth. Demons. Let's get the next one. Yeah, it's in there. If you don't see it, I'll resend it. It's a new group. Scroll up. I sent it to the same one. All the way up where we first began to post. Now give us a second online. We want to make sure this one is read. This one is crazy right here. Oh, we didn't even read that one. Let me see if I can find it myself here. Okay, let me see here. Let's if you can't find that one, go to the New York, the law that they passed in New York. Let's deal with that one. We'll come back to it.
Once again, a phone number. Mike so loud. Lionz Den Radio Show 407-545-4642. We want to hear question, comments on this particular show, because this is a very heavy title that we're going over right now. I know it affects a lot of us in our communities, especially parents. You got to be scared nowadays. Probably lock your door, man.
Right.
You over here correct your child, and I'm like, you know what, honey, lock the door.
Can't send your kid to a barbecue.
Nope.
No, the library.
Nope.
Nowhere.
Nope.
School system.
Could barely homeschool them because they're gonna push the same curriculum on you.
There you go. You got it.
It says bills to decriminalize prostitution are introduced. Is New York ready? State lawmakers took a significant step toward expanding the national conversation about sex and crime, even as quick passage seems unlikely.
What law are they trying to pass? Let's read in this thing.
What you need to know to start the day. Oh, it says New York took a significant step toward expanding the national conversation about sex and crime when a collection of lawmakers on Monday introduced bills to decriminalize prostitution, described as the first decriminalization bills ever in the state and the most comprehensive decriminalization effort ever initiated in the United States. The bills expand upon recent attempts in several other states and the District of Columbia. If passed, the bills would allow paid sex.
Why would... Just read it.
If passed, the bills would allow paid sex between consenting adults, discriminating both the buying and selling of sex, as well as the promotion of prostitution, while maintaining prohibitations on trafficking, coercing, and sexual abuse of minors.
These people are trying to pass a bill where you can legalize prostitution.
With a minor.
This is America. No, this is excluding minors.
Yeah, but this is the thing. When you in high school, you get a working papers card. If she's 16, 17 with a working paper card, guess what job she gonna try to get some bread. That's what I was saying. When they do this type of stuff, we always look at it like, well, nah, it's the adults. No. The same way when you could legalize marriage. Then it was, no, they want to actually marry, they want to push homosexuality on the children, which we just brought out in the show, right? Like I said, I remember you get a working papers card from about 16 years old, you can work for the summer. And if that's legal, that's a legal job. They saying not for minors, but you know how that go already. That's what they're pushing, because, okay, even if you're 17, 18, coming out of high school, a lot of women tend to do things they shouldn't do to pay their way through college, right? That's exactly where they're going. That's exactly where they're going.
Hey, also, you got to be clear on that thing. When you say a lot of women, a lot of what nationality of women?
Get out.
So-called blacks and Hispanics, Israelite women.
So-called blacks, Hispanics, the Israelite women in the inner cities. We don't have no suburbs like that. We got McDonald's on every block. Right. We got churches everywhere. You know, this is crazy.
And this going into, like we was talking about today on the show we was on earlier today. Everything they do, this is miles ahead. They think about a year before. Right. What I'm looking at is what's going on right now in America is we have millions of young black children that are going missing. Exactly. And now somehow the sex trade basically is about to be legalized. All this stuff, it ain't happening by chance that all this stuff is happening. It go to Psalms 94 and 20. Bring it out. But that's what I'm looking at. I'm like, okay, so now they legalize this. Meanwhile, all these kids are being missing. They showing nobody know where they at. Got missing children all over the place. They're gonna turn it. It's gonna turn into the sex trade all over again. This is America. You got that?
Yes,
Psalm
sir.
94 and 20.
The book of Psalms 94, verse 20. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee?
Read.
Which frameth mischief.
With frameth mischief. Read.
By a law.
By a law. They're going to allow you to commit sins. They're going to, and you know how they know it's sin? It's because in Vegas, where prostitution and harlotry is known, they call it what? Sin cities. Right. They understand that these things are wrong morally. They understand this goes against natural moral law. But they still do it.
We brought that out about a teacher earlier when he was kicking the student out, and the student was like, "There's only two genders."
He kept going back to the policy. Yeah, I was watching. Yeah, they know this stuff is wrong. They know this stuff is wrong, but this is showing you. The Bible's showing you. The people that rule over us, they are not right. Their spirit is not right. All right.
The best thing they have is for us to come into leadership. Help us help you.
Right.
That's the best thing y'all got going for y'all and y'all children. Us coming into leadership. Absolutely. So if they pass laws like not only abortion, where mothers can now kill their children, now they are legalizing prostitution. Where else are we going from here? This is what nobody is questioning. How worse can it get? How worse will it get? Nobody's questioning the end.
So you can legally go be paid to be a prostitute. Then you go in there and legally get an abortion. Right. Then you just keep going. What's going to happen when they find out the cure for STDs? Everybody's going to be a hoe. Why not? There's no consequences.
That's called treatment.
Right.
That's where the bread is at. They ain't going to fully cure nothing. They're going to give you stage 3, stage 5, complex this.
Yep. Hey, they saying you ain't got to strip no more. Now? Legally, do the real thing.
Dang. This is like the porn industry on steroids. Right. Because when they brought that to America, you know that all was just a setup for something like this.
You know, now that you say that, ain't that prostitution?
Absolutely, exactly.
That's prostitution already. So this has been legal. Right. Now they're just making it extra legal.
Since everybody in America love it, you know, now they're gonna just go ahead and put that in.
You want to know something heavy?
What's that?
If they become sex workers, what kind of health benefits they get?
Oh, man. Get a pension? 401k?
Because they're going to live inside that clinic. Like you said about the porn industry. I'm quite sure.
Oh, yeah. They go every other week. every other day.
The Most High mastermind too, because think about it. With those diseases, a lot of them not even detectable right away.
Right.
You can't even figure out if you got something right away.
And they just had something on the news about that being detected. It had something, I forgot what it was. But anyway, I had to find it and come back to it. But we got another one on this. This is going into, again, the Northern Kingdom. Northern Kingdom been striking out recently. All of us, we all starting to see it. It's on both sides now. We can't no longer say that it's Southern Kingdom. I'm talking about those that know the Israel. We got to realize as a family, we jacked up. Both Northern and Southern Kingdom. This is going on with a Brazilian mother. Did you read this? Oh yeah, you didn't see this one yet.
I ain't see this one. Dang. It says Brazilian mother, 27, and her lesbian lover, 28, tore off her 9-year-old son's penis.
Well, how did this whole thing start off as confusion to even get to more evil? Read it again.
Brazilian mother.
She's the mother.
And her lesbian lover.
So she would, another woman. That's confusion already. Which even caused confusion within the murder.
Tore off her 9-year-old son's penis before beheading him because he reminded her of her father.
Look at this. Somebody
come look at this. A Brazilian mother and her lesbian lover are accused of ripping off her 9-year-old son's penis before beheading him because he reminded her of her dad. Rosanna Candido, 27, and Casey Peso also allegedly sold a fake female sex organ onto the body because he wanted to be a girl before scraping the boy's skin off his face.
I wonder why this little boy wanted to become a girl.
Right. It's the only example in the house. They also tried to gouge out his eyes using a knife after the mother, Candido, stabbed her son, Ruan, a dozen times. The child was killed and mutilated at their home in Bahia, about 20 miles from the capital, Brasilia. The mother ran away with the boy after her father, who lives in Acre, near Peru, lost custody 5 years ago.
And when she got him again, this is what she did with her lover, a lesbian lover. Cut this boy's head off, cut his penis off, and sewed female organs on him, and cut out his eyes. If y'all don't know, we living in a sick world. It only gets worse. This is the young boy right here. Go back up. This is the young boy. She cut this boy's head off and took his eyes out and cut off his penis. 9 years old.
Your own child.
The love of many shall wax cold. That's what Christ was saying. This is the end times. This is the end. This is the end game. This is what it is. We are at the last of this thing. This empire is almost finished. You can tell by the people of it. You can tell by the fruits of it. This thing is almost finished. Let's get Revelations 18. We're almost done. Y'all got something for you. This right here is sick.
No, I gotta read it. Go to Lamentations 4 and 3 real quick. Because this is pretty bad. It's pretty bad. But I'm gonna show you the Bible tells you that this stuff is gonna happen. Especially dealing with our women. Lamentations 4 and 3. Read that.
The book of Lamentations, chapter 4 and verse 3. Even the sea monsters draw out the breast. They give suck to their young ones.
Read.
The daughter of my people.
But the Israelite woman, read,
is become cruel.
We have become cruel individuals. And also Miguel hit it earlier. Everybody been saying up here. The reason why we act like this and behave like this is because we envy our oppressors at the end of the day. They're learning how to mutilate people, that want to turn into a woman, want to turn. We learn all these different beliefs and philosophies from our oppressors. All right, read.
Like the ostriches in the wilderness.
Read.
The tongue of the sucking child cleaveth to the roof of his mouth for thirst.
Right. These children nowadays, they're looking for support. They're looking for somebody to guide them, and nobody, they can't find wisdom, knowledge, understanding, or love anywhere amongst our people, specifically our women. The men now are trying to rise up, but nobody is following the Bible. The only solution is the Israelites. That's understand that.
Hold on, bro. Go to the other one. Go to the other one. Why don't you die? Why don't you die?
Why don't you die? Woman tried killing a 4-month-old daughter by covering her in a blanket and sitting on her. A Texas mother has been accused of attempting to kill her 4-month-old daughter by covering her with pillows and blankets and then sitting on her. According to the Houston Chronicle, 20-year-old Meredith Nicole Dean has been charged with a felony attempted capital murder in connection to the incident, which unfolded at her southeast Houston apartment on June 13th. Court documents filed regarding the case state that the abusive first came to light when Dean's live-in boyfriend returned home on June 13th and was told by her that she had punched the infant and wanted to throw her against a wall. He reportedly fed her and put her to bed, only to see the mother place pillows and blanket on top of the 4-month-old and sit on it. He pulled her off on that occasion, but found that she returned later in the night and once again attempted to smother the infant in the same way. He said he heard her muttering, "Why don't you die? Why are you still alive?" The next morning, he said Dean was punching and scratching him as he drove her and the infant to Beginner's World Learning Academy to report the abuse.
Okay, you can stop right there. Wow. This is the world as we know it. This is the world as we know it. And again, that's just half of it. You got a brother in Louisiana, a cop, got a woman apprehended and refuses to let her go unless she performs sexual behavior on her daughter. She does it, he films it, then he let her go and then posts it on Facebook. In Louisiana. Let's go to the ending of this thing. We're going to wrap it up right now.
I'm trying to figure out how this guy's not in jail. Well, you came home and saw her. She's telling you, I think they call it postpartum depression or whatever. She's literally telling you she's crazy. She wants to take it out on the child.
You caught her suffocating her the first time.
And you went to bed, you just put the child to bed and gave her something to eat?
Revelations 18. Show you on how it all ends. How it all ends. This is going to stop. This stuff is going to come to an end. We just want you all to see that it is at an end and what you should be doing. Knowing that it's at the end, the scripture tells us, it leaves it as a question. In what manner of person shall ye be? But in all manner of holy conversation. Seeing that the elements shall be burnt and melted with fervent heat. Scripture tells us Babylon is fallen. Let's get straight to the point. Let's read verse 4. 18 and verse 4.
The book of Revelations, chapter 18 and verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven, saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God hath remembered her iniquity.
This is what we read earlier in Daniel. Thou art found, thou art measured and weighed. And your kingdom is being translated. Who is going to be translated to? Christ. How is this kingdom ended? Not with water. Not with water. That's done. Read verse 8.
Verse 8. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire.
Now, if we got time, we got 2 minutes before closing. If y'all ain't see it, y'all better see what's going on with the news. Iran is now in the picture. The Bible speaks about the Carmanians now remembering their nature. We're reading and we're seeing that nation that the Bible speaks about concerning the end. It says, this nation will be the one to set it off where this kingdom comes to an end. The Iranians are coming into the picture. Forget about Russia. The Iranians are here. And they're talking about nuclear warfare. They shot down a drone recently. Right. Obama, he's somewhere in the picture. He's orchestrating too. But Trump, he's flexing his muscles, his American muscles, goes over there and say, you know what? We're going to deal with Iran. We're going to deal with him. They ask him what he going to do. Don't worry about it. We're going to deal with him. He calls an airstrike, calls it off. But what does that now tell the Iranians? Okay, y'all want to do that. Yeah. But the Iranians, remember a couple years ago when they shot down a plane holding 266 people, America did that. Killing women, men, and children on that plane. But now they shot down an unarmed vehicle flying, and now we complaining about it. It's almost at the end. And nuclear discussion is in play for a reason. Why? Because the Most High said this place will burn with fire. Nuclear fire. That is what melts elements. I don't know if we got time. We got to end it with that. Let's end it with the last verse. Let's get Second Peter. Let's end it with the last verse.
Before you read, I just want to say, that's why the scripture says his pride have deceived me. Because if you think that an unmanned aircraft is worth more than 256 lives, 266, and the how many thousands of bombs they don't dropped over there, and you think you have the right to declare war on another country because of that, you're prideful as hell. You're wrong.
Yep. Scripture warns us also in 2nd Ezra 9. He said, measure the times. He's going to visit the earth. There's going to be uproars and everything like that. He tells us how to escape through the works, keeping the commandments of the Most High. That's right.
And last one. We'll end it with this. 2 Peter 3 and 10.
The book of 2 Peter, chapter 3 and verse 10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat.
And just in case you're confused about what this heat is, I'm going to read 2nd Ezra. I'm going to just read it myself because I want to get to the point. Verse 14, it talks about Babylon, and it says, be not partakers of her plagues. Verse 14 in chapter 16 of 2nd Ezra. Behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. The fire is kindled and shall not be put out, till it consume the foundation of the earth, like as an arrow which is shot from a mighty archer, returning not backward. Even so the plagues shall be sent upon the earth and shall not return again. He says fire is coming from these arrows. It's like a mighty archer that's shooting arrow from one end of the earth and to the other. A bow and arrow don't do that. Not even a compound bow. None of these bows, he's not talking about a bow and arrow. He's talking about an arrow. He's talking about missiles. They describe it the best way they can. They refer to these missiles as arrows. This is what the conversation is about in the news. Read that again. The day of the Lord will what?
Come as a thief in the night.
Just like we read in Daniel's. He made their feast in the midst of their heat. He made their feast, and Belshazzar was overthrown in the night. Christ said, "I'm gonna come as a thief in the night," meaning you're not gonna know. Read.
In the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise.
But he gave our people enough signs. We see it. These are signs. This is not just bad people in the earth. Something is wrong with this place. Something is wrong here. Read.
And the elements shall melt with fervent heat.
That means steel, concrete, everything that you know to be metal is going to melt. It's only one thing that does that. That's nuclear fire. It's just that hot. To even, as the scripture states in Zechariah, to melt, their eyes shall melt within their sockets. Their tongue shall consume in their mouth. While they stand upon their feet. That's what the Bible describes. Read on.
The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up.
Read.
Seeing then that all those things shall be dissolved.
Here's a question for you. Have you read this in the Christian church? Your pastor talking about this? I never heard this growing up in the Christian church. We just talk about John 3:16, how Christ loved everybody, and that's it. We didn't hear about this conversation. We didn't pass none of this. Read.
What manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness, looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of God?
Nobody's looking for that. We're saying God bless America. The coming of God is taking America out of the way that he may establish his own. America, you just read it. Iniquity should not stand in judgment with sit on the same throne with the Most High. this place has to be removed. This is why he's wearing the many crowns. So now when you look in Revelation, you look like he got a bunch of crowns on his head. You don't even know what that means. Talking about dominion. You think you're reading about a real red dragon in Revelation? This is talking about an empire. So it says, hastening for the coming of the day of God. Read.
Wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat.
Okay, and this is what a true Christian or a true believer in God looks forward to. Read.
Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and new earth.
We want this thing to be over. We ain't saying God bless America, make America great again. We ain't looking for this country. We waiting for this thing to fall so the Most High can establish his. We want peace on earth. We want to be able to leave our doors unlocked so our children can play outside and our children can get an education without learning about a drag queen. We don't want drag queen reading to our children.
Right.
We're looking for a kingdom where the Most High establishes righteousness. Read on last one.
Wherein dwelleth righteousness. Wherefore, beloved, seeing that ye look for such things, be diligent that ye may be found.
Be found. So when he's coming, and you caught as a thief in the night, that you may be found, not sinning, but what?
Of him in peace, without spot, and blameless.
Blameless. Blameless of the law. You ain't offending in none of it. Blameless. Read. That's it on that. That's the coming of Christ. With that, we say shalom, and that's where we should be found when he comes. With that, we say shalom. We pray you learn something out of it.
Share with your family. We are now on every Sunday at 6 p.m. Tune in.
Praise to the Most High. Shalom, family.
Now they will see the true men of God. We are not black men, we are the Israelites. That's right.
It's so hard to serve God. And why when I say that I'm a Jew, it sound odd? For years I've been walking around saying that I'm a black man. I ain't saying that no more, it sounds wrong, man.
This is Bishop Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. Please subscribe to our YouTube channels. Stay up to date with our latest events, music, and classroom lessons. IUIC plans to continue visiting different countries where this gospel has not been preached before. IUIC needs your help in pushing this truth. So join us. Subscribe to our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and podcast, and stay up to date with us. For more information, please visit www.israelunite.org.